All righty. Good evening, everybody. It is time for the next episode of Talking Movies with Sean, Kenny, and Jim. And I am Sean.
I'm Kenny.
And I'm Jim.
And the other face in the bottom corner is Corey from Wilky's Movies and Music.
Thank you very much for having me on here. I appreciate it.
Welcome, Corey.
Congratulations for being on.
Yeah.
You made the cut, Corey.
I made the cut. Oh, my life plans are coming to fruition. No, honestly, though, I really appreciate it. You guys have a great, fun stream, and really looking forward to joining in. So
awesome. Thanks for being on. We really appreciate you being on.
Yeah.
If I seem slightly distracted, my dog Daisy is really upset that she's not getting all the attention she deserves. So she's randomly going through the house and picking stuff off tables and running under the bed to eat them.
You never give them enough attention.
No,
that's my dog anyway.
Yeah, so
never give enough attention.
Being the asshole she is currently under my bed eating a napkin. So
what a bitch.
Yeah. I know.
I'll show you.
Texas is here. Hello, Texas.
Hey, Texas.
And so let's get this show running. And first order of business is for our guest to introduce himself and tell us all about his channel and tell us all about him and what makes him tick, what he does, and all that kind of stuff. So, Corey, you are up.
I freeze up at this part. Oh gosh, that's a lot of my face right there. That might be more than everybody wants to see.
It's the money shot, Corey.
Wow, I was going to say I had that effect too when it came up. I was like, "Ooh, goose." But no, sorry, seriously. Corey Wilky's Movies and Music. You can find me on YouTube and Instagram. Thank you so much for having me on here. But yeah, just been having fun trying to figure out the whole YouTube thing, doing live streams, kind of leaning in that a lot more and having fun, meeting new people out in the community, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, whether it's movies, and even kind of people outside of that. It's just been a great way for me to be able to talk about some things I love and have fun talking about and meet new people that want to do the same thing. So yeah, so this is why I love coming onto your live stream as well too. So really appreciate this opening up opportunities to hang out and meet new people like you all.
All right, awesome. Spotlight's on, pressure's off.
Yeah, I start talking really fast.
I never did that shit to you, Corey.
Yeah, right. Well, I was fine until I saw my face just, and I was like, "Oh gosh, that's a lot for anybody to take right there."
All right, the horror cat dad is here.
Hey, Larry.
Larry, happy birthday, buddy.
He's one that I kept up way too late last night.
Yeah, that was a great stream, though. That was a great stream.
All right, so the topic tonight, if you can't read the bottom of the screen or you're listening to the replay on audio, is TV comfort movies. So what that is, if you need that explained, is movies that'll stop you dead in your tracks if you're just mindlessly channel surfing and you say, oh, I've seen that movie 100 times. Let's watch it again, no matter when it is in the movie, whether it's 5 minutes after it started or 35 minutes after it started. You don't care. So we'll do our usual round table where we start with Kenny and go clockwise around the group. We put together a list of 10 for each of us. They are not necessarily, unless you guys want to list them by top 10. I did not.
Mine are in chronological order.
Okay.
But that's the only order they're in.
Well, look at you getting fancy. I'm just stacking them. I'm just lucky I have them sitting here.
Yeah, I'm just lucky that I pulled 10 out of the
air. You're like John Cusack in High Fidelity. It was like,
right.
I have an autobiographical.
That's right. Dear Diary, today I watched.
Yep, right. So yeah, mine's just in random order too. But.
Going above and beyond, Corey. Going above and beyond.
All right. So, Kenny, you, by nature of being in the top left, I can't even tell my directions, top right, you get to start us off with your first movie.
All right. Like we said, this is not in any order. Mine is a 1985 movie called Clue. Anytime that movie is on, I stop and watch.
The fireworks are working for you, Kenny.
Look at you. I think it flopped when it came in the movies. in '85, but it was a really huge hit. I think it was marketed terribly because they had. I remember when I seen it in the movies, I seen the Miss Peacock ending. So each theater had a different ending.
Yes.
A, B, and C.
Yes.
And when you put it on the video, they had all three endings. Because I remember when it was at the video store, it said on the box Clue with all three endings.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Like really blown away by that. So anytime that's on TV, I'll just like put it on, just like lose myself, and I can recite lines from that movie too. So
awesome.
That's
awesome.
One of my 10.
Now I got to go watch probably the other two endings. I've seen it before, but apparently I've only seen
Shut
one
up,
ending.
really?
Yeah, I'm for real.
Wow.
I did not realize that.
Cable or video, because that's the only way they released it was with all three endings on.
No, it would have just been like on HBO or something.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't have a physical release of it. I enjoy that movie, but now I gotta go check out.
Yeah,
to find the other endings.
Amazon, not a sponsor. You could buy a DVD of it for $5.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, apparently, I know what I'm going to be shopping for here.
Shouts Select put out a 4K recently.
Yeah, I bought that when it came out because that's one of my favorites.
I've got that because of the Blu-ray, because that was the first time it was available on Blu-ray.
That's why I keep my pen and paper here. I
See,
always find out something new right off the bat.
With that one, what they'll do is like it'll stop it like with one ending, and it says. Then it'll have like a clue card up, and it said, or it could have happened like this.
This could have happened.
Yeah,
or
this
could have happened.
I don't remember seeing that.
Happened.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh gosh, it'd be a fun rewatch anyway, even if it didn't have that. But I need to go back and check that out.
Yeah, at my theater when I was working there, that movie was out, and we had ending B.
Oh, okay.
Corey had. Do you remember what your ending was, Corey, that you saw?
I'm not gonna even pretend.
Okay,
it's been a long. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I remember having a fun time with it.
Was then so, but I was like you, Kenny. When it came out on video, I rented it immediately because I wanted to see the other two endings.
Yeah, exactly.
So, that's a great way to market the movie. Get people
but actually, it actually wasn't, because people were pissed, and that was one of the reasons why it flopped. Okay. Because they didn't know. A lot of theaters didn't advertise what ending they had.
I gotcha.
So people would go in thinking that they were seeing a different ending, and then they ended up watching the same damn movie again, and it was very confusing at the time. It wasn't marketed like Kenny said at the beginning. It was marketed horribly at the time.
Yeah, because like that was like a big word of mouth movie, like in high school, you know. Yeah. And if you went to I went to see it at Deptford 6, they played the Miss Peacock ending. And then if somebody in Summerdale went to see this, you know, a different ending, we could talk about the movie, but we couldn't talk about the ending. Mm-hmm. And then you felt like an ass for giving away the ending of a movie that they didn't see the ending for. So,
and the third ending is the best.
Yeah.
I'll have to
because
watch
it's got the best line in the movie, which is the last, and it's the last line in the movie. And I won't say what it is, but it's absolutely hilarious.
And I love the guy,
Tim Curry,
Mr. Body. No, Mr. Body.
Oh,
Lee Ving. You know why he was hired for it? Lee Ving.
Yep.
He was the first one killed in the movie.
Yep. Lee Ving.
Lee Ving.
Yeah, he was a punk rock singer for a band called Fear.
Yeah, they were on Saturday Night Live. I remember that.
Yep.
I'll say with that, I know there's so many movies that people can't believe I've never seen before, or like, oh, that's so, like, how do you not know that? There's so many movies. I'm sure somebody probably has like knowledge of everything. I don't, and I never have ever tried to say that I do, but that's what's cool with coming together with a group like this. You can come across some things that maybe it is common knowledge to a lot of people.
I have a whole book of movies that I've learned from Sean, and from especially the last one that I've learned from Sean.
Yeah, he was right. Shit,
but that's the coolest thing about connecting with people in this community is, yes, maybe for some people it's very common knowledge and like, how could you not know that? But not everybody does. And that's what's cool when we can connect. And so Kenny, right now, I got something. I got a homework assignment written down right now for that one. So I appreciate that. Corey,
I never saw Clue until 2009.
Yeah.
I saw it at a late night showing at a theater. I don't remember what I think they showed a Blu-ray copy of it.
Yeah.
And so I think they did all 3 endings at the end. So, but I only saw it once, so I don't remember which endings were what or anything, but I don't own it. So I've only seen it once. So don't feel bad.
It's a great movie. Really
I'm going to go back.
Yeah.
That cast is just unbelievable.
Oh, they have a lot of names in that one.
Yeah. Comedy gold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Excellent. But I'm the same way, Corey. There's a lot of, when I was revealing some of my first time watches for 2024, I mentioned Big Trouble in Little China, and Kenny and Jim's jaws dropped.
12 Angry Men.
That's the first time you ever saw that.
12 Angry Men.
12 Angry Men is the one that got me out.
Yeah. Really? Once Upon a Time in the West.
Oh yeah.
I just first time this year. I just watched that one.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm the same way. I love learning about movies, and there's no shame.
I don't care how many movies you've seen. There's got to be somebody that's seen something you haven't, and they'll be like, absolutely. "How did you not see that?" You know? And
That's like I say, I watch so much trash, I don't have much time to watch the good stuff.
It's fun trash, though, right?
Glorious trash. That's what I call it.
Glorious trash.
Yep.
We've got some people in the chat throwing out some of their movies. The Wedding Singer, Stacy.
I like that one.
That's a good
one.
That's fun. Yeah.
Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, also from Stacy.
That's a good one too.
Yeah,
I own that one.
Yep.
I saw that in the theater.
So did I.
I did too, and I think that was the last time I saw it, which is
it might actually be for me as well.
That's another Shout Select title.
Oh,
that's available.
I
got that on Blue as well.
Track that one down.
That was pretty cheap too.
Yeah, I got that on DVD. I bought that when it came out years ago.
Yes.
All right, Corey, you are up.
Oh, I am. Okay. One, and I'll try to mix them up so they're not all the same in here. I have probably some people will say maybe similar ones, but that may be why I keep on, if I come across it, I see it. We were joking earlier before we came on here, how sometimes I was just like silly, where I was flipping through the channels and there'd be a movie I really like. It's really long. And no matter where it was at, I'd end up watching it and I'd be like, well, I'm not getting much sleep tonight because I'm going to watch the rest of it. And this was one of them, but it's Open Range.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
That's a good one.
So Kevin Costner, Robert Duvall, Annette Bening. I'm a sucker for Westerns. I know it's not for everybody, but I really enjoy them. I really enjoy Open Range. And this was one I definitely remember flipping through the channels, and a few, whether it was TNT or TBS or whatever, they had a rotation where every once in a while it just would be popping up, and it's not a short movie, not the longest, but it's not a short movie. And I'd be like, well, crap, I'm staying up for another couple hours and watching that. But I always have a good time with that. And this was one I actually tracked down. There was an import Blu-ray of it.
Yeah.
So I finally got the Blu-ray of that. So
yeah, I know that's not available on Blu-ray here in the States.
No,
unfortunately. Touchstone Film.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Great pick, Corey. I actually prefer that one to Dances with Wolves, believe it or not.
I do too, actually. I really enjoy Dances with Wolves, but
Open Range is better.
If I had to pick one of them,
I like The Postman. I like that one better.
Which one?
The Postman.
Oh man, I haven't seen that in a long time.
Yeah. That's it's too long. Costner is not good with editing his movies, but I really enjoyed that one.
Mm-hmm. You know, I enjoyed it too. I know it did not do well.
Oh, I think
I was trying to be polite.
Yeah,
you're the guy, Kenny.
Yeah, there was probably about
you bought the ticket.
People. Yeah,
wasn't me. I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it. I didn't see it until it got onto probably cable or whatever. I did not see it in a theater, but I liked the premise, the idea of it, and it kind of was like a futuristic Western, you know, the way they played it out. So, yeah, for sure.
Very good.
All right.
Okay.
Jim?
So, like I said at the beginning, the only order I put mine in was chronological, because most of the channel surfing that I did was when I was a kid, when cable was a new thing. Okay. Once I got into physical media, the movies that I would tend to channel surf for, I would just buy. Okay. Mm-hmm. But there are exceptions. And as we get to the end of the list, there's a couple from the 90s that, to this day, if I'm channel surfing, even though I own them, I'll stop. Okay.
Right.
So bearing that in mind, the oldest movie I have on the list is a movie that my dad introduced me to. It's from 1963, 4 years before I was even born. And it's got one of the greatest casts ever. Steve McQueen, James Garner, Richard Attenborough,
good one.
Charles Bronson, Donald Pleasance, James Coburn. I mean, to say just a few, I'm talking about The Great Escape.
Yep.
I knew that was what you were going to say.
It is just perfection in my eyes. Everything about this movie, I can't find a single thing about this movie to complain about. Everything is just top notch. And I love the score. It's one of the greatest musical scores of all time. But what really got me is I've always loved this movie since my dad introduced it to me. But one of my favorite things I ever saw on TV was an episode of The Simpsons years later when Maggie is in daycare for the first time. They take her pacifier away, and she keeps on crawling through the air ducts to get to her pacifier. And the whole time they're playing the music from The Great Escape. Yep. And every time they put her in the cooler, you hear the ball. Do-do, do-do, do-do. I mean, it's just a love letter to The Great Escape. And it's one of the best Simpsons episodes ever. So yeah, that's my first pick.
That's a great one.
Awesome. All right. I guess it's my turn, huh?
Yes, sir.
All right. I apologize. My dog is barking because she's not enough of an asshole eating stuff. She's also barking at random things outside.
You'll probably hear mine at some point too. So no worries.
Okay. So yeah, I've got a disclaimer. Mine, I was telling before we went on the air, that I realized putting my list together how little TV I actually watch now. So Jim, it's sort of the same thing that I had to go back a little bit, but I tried to keep it fresh. So I mixed in some movies that my wife and I watch together sometimes, along with some movies that I would stop and watch. So my wife has some impact on this list. But I have to put a disclaimer up based on what I talked about last week with all the trashy movies that I watch. If I see any King Kong movie, I stop. I see any Atomic Age horror movie or creature movie, I stop. If it's a Godzilla movie, I stop.
Oh, yeah.
So those I didn't bother mentioning because that would take up my whole list. My whole list would be Godzilla versus the Smog Monster, Godzilla versus Gigan. It would be all Godzilla movies. So setting those aside, I'm going to start with We're the Millers.
Nice.
Oh, I actually have never seen that before.
That's a very good one.
It's funny as hell.
Okay.
Watch the theatrical cut. The extended cut is funny, but it's a little overlong and it's probably a little over the top. We prefer the theatrical cut. My wife and I went to see it in the theater and just absolutely loved it. But now anytime it's on TV, whether it's the censored version or if it's on Max, we'll stop and watch it. Doesn't matter how long it's been on. We know every line in that movie. We still crack up every time. Absolutely love that movie like we've never seen it before, and it gets us every single time. I'm not one of those people that quotes movies and like can remember lines of dialogue, but if you put a movie on in front of me, instantly all the lines come back and I can quote them like 3 seconds before they're said. But if you say the line, I won't know what it's from. So I'm the perfect person to repeat watch movies because I have the memory of a goldfish. So, but yeah, We're the Millers from 2013. Absolutely one of the movies that I will always stop and watch.
Yeah, that movie's hilarious.
All right, my number 9, and if you know me, you shouldn't be surprised by this. Miss Congeniality with Sandra Bullock.
Nice.
Oh,
I was waiting for 10 Sandra Bullock movies.
Is that we're gonna have maybe tonight?
No.
Hey, it would be comfort movies for him. Are those happy tissues or sad
Sandra
tissues?
Bullock fan in the world, and every time that I love my favorite line from that is when they're doing the makeover and they're doing the eyebrows and Michael Caine goes, "Eyebrows, let's make 2."
Yeah, right.
You know.
I always think it's funny when she's all done up and she's doing like the sexy like slow motion walk and then she like kind of trips on the heel a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like bringing it back to where she's at. But you know,
I love that movie, and every time it was on, stopped and watched it. No matter how many times I've seen it. So that's my number. Well, that's my next pick.
Shatner is awesome in that movie.
Shatner, Miss United States. And it has also one of the funniest lines. What is your favorite date?
That's what I was just. That's what came into my mind.
I would have to think March 27th.
It's like it's not too hot, not too cold. Not too cold. Oh, I'm blanking on her name, but she's great in that too. The gal.
Yeah, she was in the next movie with Sandra too, where she played the married couple in 21 Days, where Sandra was the alcoholic.
I've seen that. I didn't realize she was. That was
her. She played the best friend.
Okay.
That took her to the rehab center.
Yeah, Kenny can tell you about any Sandra Bullock movie you might want to know about.
And 5 degrees of separation from that too.
She's got
I love her lot.
Like a lot.
I like
Sandra.
It's hard not to like Sandra Bullock. She was like the girl next door, and she played a lot of great roles. I mean,
she did.
There's a lot of good movies.
You're up, Jim.
Corey,
you're up.
Corey.
Wow, this is going fast. Where do we go? Okay, I got to go to an all-time favorite. And oh gosh, I just like drop everything right here, but I got the movie I wanted. RoboCop.
Oh, nice.
So it was on my list, and I took it off because I knew somebody would have it.
Oh, sorry. There might be some obvious ones in here, but this is one. I had a poster that looked just like that on my wall as a kid forever. I loved science fiction. I read a lot of science fiction books and just would be drawn into those. And this is just went right into the wheelhouse. But then at that age I was at that I watched this, it kind of pushed the limit a little bit on the violence part, and I was like, whew, what am I seeing? So I think it opened my eyes a lot too. And then later coming back to it as an adult, kind of caught more of the commentary the social commentary that I did not catch as, a 12 or 13-year-old watching this movie. So it has layers, as Shrek would say, but yeah, this is one, if that pops on, I could watch the rest of it wherever it's at in the movie.
Yeah.
That was on my list, and I took it off because I don't think I cannot watch the censored version of that. I can't watch
Once
it.
You see that
that
poor dude, I always
cut.
make jokes on the uncut or the director's cut or whatever they call it on that one. The poor dude in the conference room, he gets shot for like 35 minutes, before he falls over on top of like the model of old or New Detroit or whatever. That was like, there was a couple of those scenes where I'm just like, man, the shooting's still going on. They just kept on going with it, but it's I don't know. I love that one. I can watch it. I could throw it in any time, but like I said, if you're flipping through the channels, wherever it's at, I'll watch the rest of it. So many good lines in that too.
I love that movie so much that was the first VHS movie I ever bought, and that was when it was priced for rental. So I spent almost $70 for that thing.
Wow.
Yeah. $70 like 80s or 90s money or 80s money. 80s money. Yeah.
The movie came out in 87, so that would have been 88, but yeah, I spent $70 for that thing, wore it out, had the DVD, and of course I got the Blu-ray from Arrow, but great pick.
Yep. Corey, have you seen RoboDoc?
Okay, this is where I'm at. I own it. I have not watched it yet.
Okay.
It's great.
So I do have the Steelbook RoboDoc that they had at Walmart. I do own that one, and I've been meaning to watch it, and it's horrible. I haven't yet, but it is on the list.
Set aside 4 hours and just watch it straight through.
Yeah.
It is worth it. If you love RoboCop, it is worth it.
I know I'll enjoy it. I just can't.
They'll answer questions you didn't even know you had about that.
Yeah. Literally, they talk about the hubcap that flies by the camera in the one scene.
Everything. The only thing that's not covered is what was in the catering every day,
pretty much.
It's covered. Yeah. Great pick.
Oh man, I love that. Stacy did not like it. She said she expected more from it. I don't know how you could have expected more from it. Really?
When that movie came out at the time, I remember because I was working at the theater, and when they did the little teaser for it, the little teaser trailer, and this was obviously years before the internet, but people sat in the theater and they were laughing, going, "Oh my God, that looks like the worst movie ever," and stuff. And then when that movie came out, I mean, even the critics were like, "Holy shit, you got to see this movie,"
Yeah.
I always talk about crowd reactions. Okay, poor Emil falling into the toxic waste and then getting obliterated by
the
that
melting
car.
And then the splat.
Oh my God. Every time the place would just erupt, and I would just sit there laughing like a 4-year-old, like,
yeah. You're like, I know what's coming.
Yeah, I love that movie so much. I mean, for years, everybody would watch the 70s show with Kurtwood Smith as Red, and it's like the whole time I would watch that show, I would always picture Clarence Boddicker because that's who he is to me. He's Clarence Boddicker.
Yep.
Yeah, great. I could talk about RoboCop for the rest of the show.
Yeah.
Okay, we got to move along.
Yeah,
we should have a RoboCop show.
Okay, this one, my brother Greg,
right there.
My brother Greg introduced me to this one. And again, early days of cable, and I watched this movie constantly. And this movie has been remade. And the remake to me sucks, although I know a lot of people love it. From 1975, starring David Carradine and Sylvester Stallone, Death Race 2000.
Oh, nice.
I must have watched this thing 100 times in the early days of cable because it was on all the time. And it's one of my favorite movies ever. It's just nonstop entertainment. The remake with Jason Statham, it's an action movie. This is a comedy.
Yep.
And it's brilliant. And it is just, I love it. I love it. I love it. So, yeah, Death Race 2000 is my next pick.
I saw that when I was probably 7, maybe.
You saw it before I did.
Yeah, I don't, that came out in 75. So I would have been, how long? Help me with my math here. I would have been 7. So I wasn't that. Yeah, I was 7. I was pretty young though, so I probably saw it when I was 9.
Yeah.
On HBO, and I remember watching it because it was after Rocky had come out, and that's how it was sort of marketed at that point. It was like, oh, we see one of Sylvester Stallone's earlier movies, and I remember my uncle showed it to me, and he was like, oh, you want to see one of Sylvester Stallone's earlier movies? And I remember watching it, and I was like, wow, this is really bad, but I like it.
We all have those movies.
Yes. Yeah. So thanks, Roger Corman.
Love Roger Corman.
Yep. All right. My next one is another movie. This one is a movie that my wife actually introduced me to, even though I did see it once without her, and I didn't really like it, but I learned to appreciate it through my wife. And that is The Great Outdoors.
I love The Great Outdoors.
Was it the old 96er, or what was the mistake, or the
old 88?
Or what was it? I always get the number wrong.
It was the 96er, I think.
Was it the 96er? I always get it wrong.
My list too.
I love that. But he'd be like, oh, I'm done. And they're like, there's nothing but gristle and bone left on the plate. And I'm like, well, you got to finish it all. Yeah. So sorry.
No, that's totally fine.
That's a great movie.
I saw it at the drive-in, and I was like,
me too.
This really isn't Dan Aykroyd and John Candy's best movie. I don't know if it was the mood I was in or what. I just did not like it. And then I went without seeing it forever. And then I watched it with my wife, and she's like, oh, I love that movie. And I was like, oh, really? And then I watched it with her, and I watched it with her and her sister, and they're like, oh, this is great. And I learned to love it. And now I love it. It's just fantastic. So we watch it all the time. So, yeah, if it's on, we stop and watch it. And it was funny. We were actually watching an episode of Naked and Afraid, and they actually referenced The Great Outdoors the other night. And we were like, hey. So, yeah, love that movie.
They weren't talking about the old 96er, were they?
No, they were talking about that.
Yeah, I saw that at the drive-in too, Sean.
That would be a great drive-in. I did a lot of drive-ins growing up, movies. I never saw that one there. That seems like a great drive-in movie theater.
Yeah, you would think, and I don't know what was wrong with me.
Oh gosh!
And the absolute best line in that movie, without a doubt, to me, is when John Candy and Dan Aykroyd are arguing back and forth, and Dan Aykroyd goes, "You know what? You wouldn't know a good time if it fell out of the sky, landed on your face, and started to wiggle."
Oh, I have another one. I thought you were going to.
I forgot about that one.
When they're at the bar, and he goes, "I have to introduce Mr. Thick Dick to Mr. Urinal Cake." always makes me laugh every time that's on. And of course, when it was on cable, they totally blocked that out, you know.
Yep.
But it's
yeah, I love that movie. I think it's great.
Yeah.
Well, when you got a couple icons like that coming together and doing a movie, it's I don't know. It's kind of cool to go back and watch some of those. You know, you got Aykroyd and Candy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I don't understand why it didn't hit me the first time, but man, I love it now. So
those fucking raccoons, man.
Oh yeah,
music they play.
When they're out there walking
I mean, I'd hear that music and just start laughing, you know.
Man, I haven't seen that I have that back there, and I gotta. Now I'm gonna have like 20 movies I'm gonna watch before. Or I feel like I gotta watch
every week.
Yeah.
Every week. All right, Kenny.
All right, my next one up is from 1996, and it's The Birdcage with Robin Williams, Nathan Lane, Gene Hackman, R.I.P.
R.I.P.
But that's still, all right. And I love that. The one, and we still do this. Like when my brother was up here, we'll go, how about the Bears? And Nathan Lane go, oh, I was terrified like that. And it's like, and after that, you can't see like when Robin's like walking like John Wayne, and he starts like going, I can't get that out of my head. Him like walking, doing the sachet.
You know, I didn't think about The Birdcage, but you know, it's ironic because we're doing comfort movies where you would stop and watch. In the early days of cable, they did the original version, La Cage aux Folles.
Oh yeah,
which was on HBO, and that was like one of the first foreign language movies I ever remember watching, and I watched it a lot because it was funny as hell. So, yeah,
I remember the scream, and I didn't know what the hell I was watching at the time, you know. But it was like me and my mom would sit there and like laughing. The first foreign language movie I ever seen was the original 3 Men and a Baby, the French version of 3 Men and a Baby.
They played that one on cable back in the day too.
Oh yeah, relentlessly. Yeah.
Yep. I don't even want to tell you what the first foreign movie I watched was.
Emmanuel.
That's
funny. That came up last night on the stream too.
Oh, did it really?
It was the Tin Drum.
Oh yeah, drum? That's a rough one for your first movie, man. Because that was one of my early ones too. That one was on cable a lot too.
Yep. Yeah, that was a mind fuck when you're that age.
It's a World War II movie, not for the faint of heart.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And you follow a little boy who's about what, maybe 10?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
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 Way to bring us down, Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Well, I didn't want you to think I was sitting there watching porn when I was 10 years old. Oh, it was Swedish erotica.
That was 12 years old.
Emmanuel was my first foreign film.
All right, Corey, you're up.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, follow that.
Wow, this comes. Yeah, man.
Yeah, dude, we just like swallow them around.
I know, right? But then I got to follow something like that up, man. All right, I'm gonna go with this one. I remember watching this one in the theater when it came out with my family, and so some of it's nostalgia. I know a lot of other people like it too, but I'll watch this whenever it pops up and have great memories seeing this on a family trip with my family. Anyway, this is the whole pack, but is the first Back to the Future.
Nice.
Ah, there you go.
Yep.
So,
nice.
I could honestly probably any of the three probably could do it, but specifically the first one. I remember seeing that in the theater with my family on a family trip, and just a lot of good memories with that. And I don't know, sci-fi sucked me in as a kid, and I still enjoy it today. So, and man, the cast, the story, the soundtrack, you know, everything with that. It's one of those iconic movies, but I'll go back and watch that anytime.
Nice.
Yeah. That's a good one. That's one of those movies that came out right when I think I was just either a junior or senior in high school. So I wasn't like super fanboying movies at that point. I had sort of gone through Star Wars. So it wasn't too cool to be, you know, like all excited about a movie, but secretly I was like watching it at home on HBO going, this is pretty damn good. I really like this, but I wouldn't tell anybody about it.
It'll be our secret.
Yeah, it was too family friendly to be like cool.
Yeah.
So, you know, so I was just like, yeah, that's a really good movie, but I never saw any of them in the theater. So, which is weird. Like
that was the only one I saw in the theater.
Oh, wow.
First. Yep.
Yeah, it's the only one of the three I saw in the theater, and I saw it multiple times because I was working there at the time. That was the summer of '85 when that came out.
Yeah.
But show you how stupid I was. I mean, naive, I guess I would say, not stupid, but I was just under 18 when that movie came out, and Michael J. Fox was on Family Ties at the time, and that's the only thing I knew him from. And the first time that he says, "Come on, Doc, we're going to look like a couple of assholes," I was shocked that he swore. I was like, oh, Alex P. Keaton just swore,
He's always the buttoned up one, like got the tie on and the sweater vest or whatever.
Yeah. Little Ronnie Reagan clone.
I remember that December. Me, my mom, and my brother went to see that in the theaters. They had a double feature. They started off with a movie that had just came out, Teen Wolf.
Yeah.
And then they put on the screen. People were getting up to leave, and it said, "Hang on, we got more." And then they showed Back to the Future, and of course everybody filed in to see Back to the Future. But it was like people, I never forget, people were getting up and leaving like towards the middle of Teen Wolf because they just didn't like it. And it was like, and we were just like, okay. So it was like we always waited till, as my mom said, the last dog dies, because I wanted to watch all the credits and stuff. And then they had on the screen and it said, "Don't leave." And then they showed, then they came up with Back to the Future, and it was like, okay.
So I'll say, not to go on a tangent, but Jim, you're saying your moment with Michael J. Fox, hearing him curse, in the movie. I think Teen Wolf was mine with him, where he was going into the closet and making out. And I'm like, he's what? He's not supposed to be doing that stuff. They come out and they're like, the hair's all messed up or whatever.
It's like the first time you saw Embrace of the Vampire and you went, holy shit, Alyssa Milano grew up.
I had a poster of her on my wall next to the Lamborghini poster on what 80s teenage boy didn't have like Alyssa Milano or like a Lamborghini poster or but I'll say a video store I had, they always would resell them after they got done with the posters that they had in there. They would sell them really cheap because usually they had pinholes in them or whatever.
Yep.
I would always buy those, and so I had a bunch of, like, I was talking about RoboCop being on my wall. That was one of them I bought from them. But yeah, a lot of RoboCop, a lot of Schwarzenegger, Stallone movie posters. But I wish I would have kept those things. You look back, even with all the pinholes and everything in them, I wish I would have kept them.
Okay, before I go with my pick, I'm going to make Corey cry here for a second.
Uh-oh.
I worked in a theater for years, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had a collection of over 200 theatrical one-sheets.
Oh, okay? Like the original.
That were lost in a fire, unfortunately.
Oh.
Okay? But this is the one that might kill you. Might kill all three of you guys. Return of the Jedi.
Oh.
Before they named it
Return
of the Jedi, it was called Revenge of the Jedi.
You did.
You had the
teaser
original
poster with the lightsaber and Revenge of the Jedi to select theaters. My theater happened to be one of those, and Fox changed the name, wanted all those posters back or be destroyed. My boss said, "Go destroy this." Sure. I destroyed it right in the trunk of my car.
Roll.
Never hung it. Never put a pinhole in it. It was perfect. Last time I checked, that thing was going for thousands of dollars.
Yep. Oh, I believe it.
Wow.
Yep.
When you got something like that, that's got to be super rare. Not every theater was getting those.
Yeah, now they've got reproductions, but that was it had the
original one sheet.
And Sean worked at the theater. You can tell the difference between an actual one sheet and a reproduction.
Oh, yeah.
And
heck, there's a bunch of original one sheets that are not as rare as that go for pretty good money, like just to get the original one sheet. But oh gosh.
Yeah. Just about every movie from the 80s I had.
That was actually the first Star Wars movie I saw in the theater. Was Return of the Jedi.
Wow.
That was the first one I actually got to see in the theater.
So
I'm lucky. I still have my movie poster collection. It is not in the greatest of shape. Most of it has been in a garbage bag that's been tossed around from house to house.
Don't ask.
Yeah. When I didn't have any place to store it, so it was in a garbage bag,
sure.
and it's in my garage right now. But I did make a video of it, and I haven't really added anything to it, so I'm gonna have to look at it. But I think I have a Batman 1989 coming soon
Nice.
poster in there. I don't know what condition it is, but they're all rolled up inside each other, so they're pretty in good shape.
Right.
They're not original, but I started getting into buying some movie posters again, so I got a little bit of They Live back there right now.
Oh, nice.
Sitting, you can't probably see it really well, but
I was in my collection,
rebuying some of those old posters I remember having. So they're not worth anything. They're recreations, whatever, reprints. But going back and buying some of those I remember buying as a kid, and having from the video store, and like, I wish I would have kept that. But so I'm still grabbing some of those. But.
Yep.
Okay.
Right, sorry, Jim.
Sorry, I go off on tangents all the time.
Derail us, but you were talking about the posters, and it just made my heart break all over again. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah. So, invite me on again to crush your dreams.
1979.
Thanks, sir.
1979. I'm 12 years old. And a movie came out that was extremely controversial at the time. And I wanted to see it unbelievably bad, but they pulled it out of theaters because it was so controversial. And then it came out on cable about a year and a half later, and I fell in love with it and still stop anytime I watch it. I'm talking about The Warriors.
Oh yeah.
One of the best soundtracks of all time. This movie is dated as hell. Okay. I mean, it was dated at the time. I mean, I never saw gangbangers dressed up like they are in this movie. Okay. It doesn't matter. This movie is so much fun as long as you're watching the theatrical cut.
I was just going to say, is that the theatrical on Blu-ray?
This is both. Thank God.
Okay.
Because this is from Imprint. And this is why I got it originally through Imprint, and then Arrow, I think it was, ended up releasing it after that. But before that, the only way you can get it on disc was this director's cut that put a bunch of graphic novel bullshit into it and turned it into a comic book movie. Yeah. And I don't care if that was Walter Hill's original intention or not. It sucks. And the theatrical version is the way to go.
Yep.
And I could watch The Warriors every day. It's just one of those movies. It doesn't matter what point of the movie it is, I'm in. So that's number 3.
Totally agree.
That's
I bought it on.
Sorry. I was just gonna. It's very interesting to hear both Sean, you and Jim throwing out movies that you enjoyed the theatrical cuts more than the extended versions. But it's cool to hear. I haven't seen. I'll be honest. I haven't seen either one of those, so I'll have to dive into that. But it's always interesting that whole debate of.
The director's cut is only like maybe a minute or two longer. But what it is it's got like comic book frames juxtaposed inside the movie with a goofy narration at the beginning, and they're comparing the story that you're watching to the Spartans in Thermopylae, which 300 did that story much better as a graphic novel movie goes. Okay, I saw The Warriors 100 times before that director's cut, and the first time I saw it, I was like, if this is the only way that it's ever going to be available again, I'll never watch it again. And I didn't watch it again until that version came out. Yep. It's just, if you've never seen the original, maybe it wouldn't bother you. But if somebody asked me, hey, which version should I watch? I would go with the theatrical cut every day.
Yep. I totally agree, because that was the only way I saw it. And I saw it on HBO back in the day. And I bought it on Blu-ray, and I saw it was a director's cut, and I'm like, oh, it's probably going to be even better than it was. And I saw that comic book shit, and I turned it off. Yeah. Because I'm like, that's not the way I remember the movie. So I got a version of it that came with a theatrical cut on DVD with the director's cut on Blu-ray, and I'm like, I'll keep this because it has the theatrical cut on the DVD. I won't watch the Blu-ray.
So, no, Imprint and Arrow, they're versions do have both versions. I know that.
Okay.
And from what I hear, the Arrow is supposed to be great. I think that might even be a 4K. I'm not really sure.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's nice when you have the options available to you. So you can pick whichever one you want to watch. Those, but.
Take notice, fucking George Lucas with Star Wars.
For sure. For sure.
And THX 1138, I found out, sadly.
Yeah.
All right. My next one is one that I just actually watched with my wife the other day. And I'm not going to be able to show the actual movie, but this character may ring true. Spaceballs.
Nice.
From 1987. Found out just by chance that my wife knows that movie almost as well as I do.
Nice.
Good job, Lori.
And she actually suggested we put it on the other day. So I'm like, hey, that's great because that's perfect for my work. But it's definitely one that I would stop and watch anytime that it's on. Just hilarious. And I hadn't seen it in quite a while. So we watched it Saturday night and oh my God, I was laughing like crazy at everything. And there were so many things that I had forgotten because I hadn't seen it in a while. Just hilarious.
That cast too, man.
That amazing cast. Oh my God. And just what I was paying attention to a lot was the special effects, which in some cases aren't that great, but in some cases they're surprisingly well done for a movie that was done in '87 with practical effects. So it just all around, it's hilarious. It's a well done parody of the Star Wars types films. It works as a good Mel Brooks film, probably the last great one that he ever did.
Absolutely.
And I don't know. If it's on, it's gonna get watched. So, Spaceballs.
I don't know why as a kid I always would laugh about Barf.
Yes.
and Pizza the Hut.
Yes.
I don't know why, but as a kid watching that, I don't know why I remember laughing about those. But man, you look back at the names that are in that cast, they got quite a few heavy hitters there, I think anyway. But
the joke that always killed me for some reason, and it's not even that funny of a joke, it just kills me every time, is when they're going to bust out the princess and you hear nobody knows the triple lives, and they look at each other and John Candy's like, she's a base.
Man,
Strong, you have to introduce Lori to silent movie.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome. I haven't seen that in a long time.
Oh my God.
Is that your favorite Mel Brooks movie?
Me?
Yeah, is that your favorite one?
Spaceballs?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay.
The Young Frankenstein.
It's just your comfort one.
Yeah, it's a comfort one.
It's funny that because when you held that thing up, because I almost did the same thing, but it was a different movie from the set, and it's not one that you would think, because I was going to hold up History of the World.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
because that was one that was constantly on when I was a kid and watched. I could fucking sing that Inquisition song right now, every word. I mean, and I haven't watched that movie in years, but awesome pick.
That's great.
That's a good one. My next one's from 1984, and it's Revenge of the Nerds.
I knew it. I knew
it. Anytime that's on, and it was like when they break in and put the cameras in there, and he goes, and the Chinese guy's going, I'm getting tired of the channel, the Betty channel. Let's turn something else on. And they're eating the Cheerios and the beer. That movie is so funny. I've seen that in the movies too. That was great.
Yeah.
Love that one.
Yeah.
I saw that in the theater too.
Me too. And that's one of the posters that was in the fire.
Oh, geez. Dude.
Yeah.
Oh, you're killing me.
Sorry.
That was definitely one of those. That was definitely one of those '80s movies that was like sneaking in to watch, to see the couple shots of somebody topless, at some point in the movie. It seemed like the '80s always had to like sprinkle that in a little bit.
Oh yeah.
I drink to that.
Yeah.
We've got Bush.
But,
Das Booger.
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 I always remember Booger. Actually, we were just talking about him in Better Off Dead.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Last night. But sorry, I think that's the same dude, isn't it?
Yeah, Curtis Armstrong.
Yeah.
Curtis Armstrong. Yeah, I couldn't think of his name.
Yeah, he went from playing Booger in Revenge of the Nerds to playing Snot on American Dad.
It's just different secretions that he'll be named after.
And then he was the comedic effect on Moonlighting, those last bad seasons of Moonlighting that they.
Curtis Armstrong has been around forever.
Yeah,
he's like 70 years old now.
Yeah,
is he really?
Yeah, he's still doing lots of stuff. He's great.
Oh.
Okay, who's up? Corey's up, right?
Corey, you're up, dude.
Oh wow, man. Okay, I'm going to go with, for the next one, this is one, actually, I went with some friends to the theater to watch. There was 5 of us. Only 2 of us made it through the whole movie. Because some people walked out because they thought it was too boring and long. And they walked out right before the epic scene that I will go back and watch anytime. But I'll still watch this whenever it would pop up on this TV. But Heat.
Oh, how could anybody walk out on Heat?
3 people walked out.
Wow.
They're like, this isn't what I thought. It's boring. They walked out before the whole exiting the bank scene.
Oh,
wow.
The whole which is pretty darn epic. And I have this on VHS too. That was a double tape, and that was one where you put in the second tape, and it was like them just walking out of the bank. And I'll admit, there's a lot of times I would just throw the second one in and and just watch them do the bank exit scene and that whole downtown shootout. I love this movie. I know it's not going to be for everybody. It's longer, and there's some dialogue parts that probably it's not for everybody. And I think some of the people that went with us at this age we were at, they were thinking of more of a shootout action movie.
They were expecting Goodfellas.
Yeah, probably. But man, how they dove into the characters on this,
dialogue was great.
So there's the exiting the bank scene, but man, De Niro and Pacino sitting down at that coffee shop after he pulls over and he's like, "Yeah, you want to go over?" And that scene, the 2 of them sitting there talking, I know it's just them going back and forth with the
just
words.
How it was shot too. You know,
that's action packed right there. Watching the 2 of them go at it. So anyway, that thing will pop up, and again, that's another one that's a little bit longer, and I'd be like, "Oh, I'm not going to bed early tonight," you know, if I came across that. But I enjoy that. I can go back to that one anytime.
Now, none of us knew each other's list going in. Okay,
nope.
Right.
You just mentioned Heat.
Yeah.
Before we started, I had to come up with a long movie to put on for my mom so that, she could be occupied. Guess what she's watching? Heat.
Heat?
Great.
For real? That's awesome.
That's what I put on.
But it is a longer, especially at that time too. That was a pretty darn long
50
movie.
minutes long. That's why I picked it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Now it might not seem like it might not seem too crazy now. But in mid 90s, that was a pretty darn long movie to hit the theater. But
it's a great one. Okay, back to 1979. That was a good year. And unfortunately, I did not see this one theatrically either, but this is a movie that I fell in love with on cable. Me and my buddy Rob must have watched this thing 50 times in 6 months. Okay.
I know what it is.
And I mentioned it on one of my recent videos. It stars Malcolm McDowell, Mary Steenburgen, and the late, great David Warner. I'm talking about Time After Time.
Great flick.
Oh.
If you've never seen this, Corey, write this one down. This is a great, great, great movie. The gist of it is Malcolm McDowell plays H.G. Wells, and he invents an actual time machine. And he has a dinner party with his friends, and he tells them all that he's going to go into the future because he's convinced that the future society is going to be a violence-free utopia. Unfortunately, one of the dinner guests is one of his best friends happens to be Jack the Ripper. And the cops are closing in, so Jack the Ripper jumps in the time machine and goes, and the time machine comes back, and H.G. Wells has to go into the future to bring him back. And that's as far as I'll go.
Yep.
That movie is friggin' awesome on many levels.
I haven't seen that.
Check it out if you haven't.
Yeah,
I put 2 stars by it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's available through the Warner Archive collection, but I'm sure you could stream it somewhere. I know it was on HBO Max at one point.
Okay, I'll check it out.
I can vouch for that one as well. When I got a chance to meet Malcolm McDowell down at Texas Frightmare Weekend back in 2011, that was the movie I had him sign.
Nice.
Oh God, I am so jealous of you right now.
Did he say anything to you?
Not really. I was fumbling around with my cell phone, and I was going to ask him if I could take his picture, and I pressed the button to take the picture before I asked him if I could take it. So
He was probably like, "Yeah, twat."
So I have a picture of Malcolm McDowell handing me the DVD with kind of a perturbed look on his face.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, whoops. But he did say it was okay for me to take the picture after I took it.
Yeah.
That's
awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. So
of
you
all
got
the
a
movies
copy.
that I could have had him sign, it was that one because that's the first one I ever saw him in, and it's fantastic.
It's
That's
such a
great
good movie.
movie.
David Warner is incredible in that movie. David Warner is one of my favorite actors, and I think that's his best performance that I've seen. I love that movie.
Very cool.
Yep. Totally agree with that. All right. I guess it's my turn again.
Yes, sir.
Well, this one is sort of a cheat, but I'll stand by it. And you knew this was going to be on the list. Star Wars.
I knew it was going to be on somebody's list.
I almost put one in my list.
But it could easily just as well be The Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi. If it's any of the 3 original Star Wars films that's on TV, I will stop and watch them. So it could be any of the original 3, not the 3 prequels, not the 3 sequels, the original 3. As far as I'm concerned, the other 6 don't exist. It's just the original 3. So
I just pictured in my head Lori going, "Sean, I'm not watching Rise of the Skywalker again. God damn it."
That would be me. I tried watching it for a second time. I couldn't make it through the second viewing. It's so bad.
So bad.
So it's so bad. I literally could not get through it.
Awesome.
But yeah, the original 3 are fantastic. Yes. I've lost count of how many times I've seen them. You know, I grew up with them. I saw the original Star Wars in the theater in 70 millimeter. So the trench scene, I remember being a little kid and going when they went into the trench. I remember in my seat going like this because it was unlike anything I'd ever seen. So I always go back to being a little kid when I watch those movies. As much as George Lucas has screwed with them over the years, I do have the despecialized editions on Blu-ray, so I can watch them at least as well as they can be watched, uncut and unmessed with. And those are the ones I will watch. I showed the one that came out that's all messed up, you know, this version, but those are the ones I watch when I watch them on Blu-ray. But on TV, of course, you got to see the special editions or whatever they are.
Yeah,
but
re-release, whatever.
The tinkered with editions. But
where Greedo shoots first, because that's how it started.
Yeah.
That's probably the biggest part of all those that I don't like. That whole, I don't know. Stick with the original. They did so well. Like I don't know, but I don't know. I'll be quiet. But it's just it's weird when they go back and start tinkering with them.
Yeah.
We could have an entire episode dedicated to
Star Wars
and
we should.
Why they shouldn't tinker with
that would be a good one.
Don't mess with it.
Yeah.
Damn you, George Lucas. Damn you.
That should be the title of the episode. Damn you, George Lucas.
There you go.
The duck and now this.
There's your next live stream.
But anyway, Star Wars from 77.
Yeah, awesome. Great.
All right, my next one, and by the way, that's on my list, so I'll cut that one out of my list. Next one up on mine is The Odd Couple.
Nice.
With Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau.
Nice.
Every time that is on, I'll sit and watch it, no matter what. Doesn't matter. And it was funny because you were always used to, when you were a kid, the pan scan version.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And you never got to see the full version of Oscar's apartment.
Yeah.
And I remember I bought it on Laserdisc before I bought it on any other one. I had it on Laserdisc, and you got to see the pan scan. And I remember watching it with my mom, and my mom goes, "Is that a Christmas tree?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then she goes, "Oh my God, there's shamrocks on the Christmas tree." Like they're from like St. Patty's Day, and there was like, if you like look at it close, there was like underwear like on the table and stuff that he had just like laid there, and it's just like all different kinds of. So it's like an Easter egg every time that you can watch it. You get to see different things of the apartment, especially the first shot when they zoom in.
You're just sitting there watching the edges of the screen.
Oh, I swear it was like we rewound it back, and we were like picking stuff out from it, and it was like amazing. Yep. And my favorite line from that is like, "F you, F you." I'm getting little notes to say "F you." I didn't know it was Felix Unger.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another thing. I used to do that to drive my mom crazy. I used to go spa, 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 spa. It clears my sinuses. Spa, 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 spa.
Those two get together though. They hit.
Oh yeah. It's gold. Yeah. It's gold every time when those two are together.
But that one's the more. It was on TMC last week, and I just sat and watched it. It was right as he goes to commit suicide, and he brings the sisters down.
Yeah,
great
movie.
Yeah. So, Corey, you're up, dude.
All right, I was getting ready. I was looking at my stack here because I know I have too many. I will say, not to cheat, but a lot of those original Star Wars I could have thrown in there. I had thought about Empire a lot because that was one that but then also Return of the Jedi, just because that was the only one I actually saw, or the first one I saw in the theater. So, but sorry, that's maybe an honorable mention.
There you go.
But I will go to. I could pick so many out of this franchise that I enjoy, but I'm gonna go with Daniel Craig in Casino Royale.
Oh, nice.
So, but there's a lot of the Bond films that I could go back and I can't remember if it was TNT or TBS. They would do Bond marathons every once in a while.
Like July.
Yeah, they're just like one after the other. It was just like 24 hours of Bond, and I'd sit there and like just drop in. Maybe I only had a half hour or whatever. I rarely saw the whole thing, and I could just drop into any of them. And as a franchise, I know some are better than others. Some people have different Bond, your Bond when you first saw them.
Yep.
Daniel Craig definitely was not my first one. Roger Moore was my first one.
Roger Moore was my first one.
So I also had like a lot of nostalgia for Moonraker. I think that was like one of the first ones that I know somebody can be like, oh, it's cheesy, but I have fun with it, and I can still go back and watch it. A lot of them, but Casino Royale, I thought with Daniel Craig, that was one that it took a different turn for the franchise. Got a little dirtier, grittier, more violent, and I don't know. I liked it, and whatever that says about me, but I can flip that one on and watch it anytime.
Yeah,
good. It's my favorite James Bond movie, believe it or not.
Oh, for real?
Okay. I own them all. Casino Royale is my favorite.
Yeah, I have the rest of them. I have this set, but I have the Blu-ray set that has everything else except for it. Just might not have No Time to Die, maybe, and this one has it. It was like right before, or at least the set I have. So between this and that, I have what they have so far. But we'll see what Amazon decides to do with it from now. But after they spent a lot of money on that, but
I'm a little nervous about that. But
yeah, me too.
Yeah,
but so far I enjoy that whole franchise. But
yeah, I like Casino Royale. I thought it was kind of like the kind of reinvented Bond in the mold of like the Bourne Identity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
kind of made him a little more like close combat, hand-to-hand combat kind of guy.
And he wasn't invincible. He got he got it handed to him.
Dude, that torture scene is like the most brutal thing I have ever seen in a PG-13 movie.
Yeah.
I mean,
the chair.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Kind of forget about that. But then I'm also a fan of Mads Mikkelsen too, so I thought he did a great job as a villain in that movie.
Eva Green.
Yes.
I am absolutely obsessed with Eva Green.
Yeah,
she's awesome in that movie. I mean, it's a great movie, Corey. Great pick.
And I sorry, not to keep going, but I love Cars, and I love seeing Aston Martin coming back.
Aston Martin,
he had that coming back. When switched back from the BMW that Pierce Brosnan was driving around for a while, and they got back to the Aston Martin. So
yep, totally agree. Good pick, great pick.
Okay, I'm up, right?
You are.
All right. So now we're up to 1980, and I grew up in the outskirts of Chicago, and this movie is near and dear to my heart. And this is one of those movies that, even though I own it, if I am flicking channels and it's on, I stop and I watch it. And it doesn't matter what scene it is, because it always brings me back to that very first time I watched it. I'm talking about the Blues Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
I absolutely love this movie. I'm not a musical guy, by and large, okay? This movie's music is incredible, okay? I saw this in 1980 as a 13-year-old kid who was obsessed with John Belushi and did not know Aretha Franklin, Ray Charles, James Brown. I didn't know any of them, maybe by name, but definitely not by face or music. And I walked out of there a fan of all those artists, and I'm still a fan of all those artists. And the Blues Brothers, yeah, it's a cartoon. It's over the top. It doesn't make a lick of sense. I don't care. I absolutely love it. It's about as close thing to a religious movie I'll get to, because, you know, they're on a mission from God, and I'm right there.
That's what I was going to say. We're on a mission. Yeah. We're on a mission.
Blues Brothers, like I said, it's another one of those perfect movies, in my opinion. I just adore it.
Yep.
Well, and they're so hot off of SNL and everything, too.
Yeah.
You know, going into that. And
did you hear the background? Did you guys ever hear the background of the Blues Brothers? They kept Aykroyd kept on pitching this to Lorne Michaels about it. He kept on pitching and pitching and pitching and pitching. And Steve Martin was hosting that time. And Lorne Michaels went up to Aykroyd and said, I can't, I'm down 3 minutes. And Aykroyd went, Blues Brothers. They kept on pushing for it. And he goes, just go up and do whatever you're going to do, like that. And that's they did it that night to lead off the show. And they didn't know about it until about 11 o'clock.
Oh, man.
That's how crazy that was.
Yeah, because first they were in those damn bee costumes.
Yeah. And Belushi
hated the bee costume and was like threatening not to even do it. And then Aykroyd talked him into it, because he was like, hey, this is our chance to get, you know, this idea out. And then they released Soul Man as a single. And it was like one of the best-selling singles of that year.
Yep.
I had it.
Yeah.
Yep. I had the album.
Yeah. Briefcase full of blues.
Yep.
With Rubber Biscuit.
Side tangent.
Rubber Biscuit. Bow, bow, bow.
I know side tangent, but have you watched the Saturday Night, the newer movie that came out about that first episode?
Yep.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh,
I want to though.
It's interesting. So
I'm mixed on it, Corey.
Yeah, that's where I'm saying it's interesting. That's where.
Yeah.
That's fine. But yeah, I definitely want. I will check it out eventually, but I'm not going to like blind buy it for $20 or anything like that.
No.
That would be like that would be like a cable movie or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, it's streaming on Max.
There you go.
Perfect. Yeah, I saw it off of one of that I have.
Awesome.
All right, Sean.
Yeah, great one.
All right. This is another sort of cheat. I probably won't spend too much time talking about it, because I always talk about it, but it's Jaws.
I knew it.
Dun, dun, dun.
Another one I took off my list because I knew one of you guys was going to mention it.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my all-time favorite movies, but it's another one of those movies that my wife will say, "Hey, you want to watch Jaws?" And we'll just put on the Blu-ray. But if it's on TV, we'll stop and watch it, and it doesn't matter where it's on. Doesn't matter if it's been on for 5 minutes, 25 minutes, 45 minutes. Doesn't matter. We'll watch it. So, and usually for the 4th of July, we will make an effort to put it on and watch it on Blu-ray. So, yeah, it's one of those comfort movies that I will always take the opportunity to watch. And I just saw while we were watching the Oscars that the Academy Museum is going to be putting a special exhibition for Jaws up to celebrate the 50th anniversary. And I am trying to figure out how to make it work financially to go out there and see in LA the Jaws exhibition. So I guess there's going to be like 200 different pieces out there, props and scripts and all sorts of shit from the movie. So I'm going to try and make that happen, but I don't know.
Richard Dreyfuss in a display case.
I don't know if it's going to happen, but I'm going to try and make it happen.
That's awesome.
They're re-releasing that in theaters again.
Yeah. what is it? August 29th, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. It might be my birthday movie this year.
Nice. That's your birthday?
I saw August 31st. So.
Oh, okay.
But I saw it theatrically, and perfect movie. It's a perfect movie.
Yep. Action adventure, perfect.
Yeah.
All right. My next one up is Animal House.
Nice. Oh, nice.
Another one I took off my list because I knew somebody would have it.
Yeah. I can watch that anytime it's on, and usually it's been on AMC like lately, so if I'm just like flipping around and stuff like that, just hit that up. I love that. There's so many different ones, lines from that movie you can take, but I just, that movie's so great. And Nita Meyer just turned 79 today, by the way.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow.
Mark Metcalf just turned 79 today.
Well, 85 years ago yesterday, Chuck Norris was born. So 85 years ago, Chuck Norris crawled out of his mother and slapped a doctor.
Crawled out and cut his own umbilical cord.
That's right, with his teeth.
Yeah, right.
Or with a roundhouse kick.
Yeah, right. Roundhouse kick. I always love the memes of him.
Yeah, I sent one to our chat.
That's fun.
Great pick, Kenny.
That's a great pick.
You're up, Corey.
All right. Maybe a little cheese I got to throw in here, but you got to have some of those that you always will go back and watch, and there's some fun quotes with it too. But we got Patrick Swayze in Roadhouse.
Nice.
So, nice.
My
honeymoon movie.
Yep, it's one of those that, not saying greatest movie ever, but I have fun with it, and if it pops on, I'll sit and watch it. And there's some good cheesy lines through there.
Double douche.
Yeah, right, exactly. But yeah, there's like so many in that though. I'd have to even look up to but one I always laugh about, the older guy when he goes to rent the barn or whatever to stay there. It's like, and I had to look it up so I wouldn't completely mess it up, but calling me sir is like putting an elevator in the outhouse. It don't belong. I'm Emmett. There's so many little fun ones in there that I have fun with it. But anyway,
about as useless as a pecker on a pope.
Yep. Yep. But yeah, there's so many, and I don't know. There's a great cast. Sam Elliott, I always enjoy too, and so I think he does a great role in that. And I don't know. Good cheesy fun for me. I could stop and watch that whenever that pops on.
I think Sam Elliott is like the spice of movies. You add him to a movie, it makes it better, no matter what
Absolutely.
it is.
That dude's voice.
Yes.
Yeah.
He could probably make a fortune just doing audiobooks or something.
Yep. I will not eat them, Sam.
Yeah, right. He could do about anything, but yeah. It's it's so funny. But I was trying to look up some of the quotes because I'm really good about messing them up when I try to just say them on my own. But there's a lot of fun ones through that movie. But well, I don't know.
Here comes our explicit rating. My favorite all-time line from that movie is, "I used to fuck guys like you in prison.
Yeah,
you are such an asshole."
Yep. Or I always thought it was funny too when he goes to the hospital and he meets I always forget her name for the first time, but
Kelly Lynch.
Kelly Lynch.
Yeah. But then he has his little folder of all his you carry your medical records with you all the time. He's like, it saves time.
Saves time. No anesthetic. Pain don't hurt.
Yeah, some of my patients would disagree with you.
Chicks dig scars.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it's a fun one, and you got you got some good blues music in there too.
Jeff Healey.
Yeah, Jeff Healey Band. Healey Band. Yeah, I was blanking on the name there, but they're playing throughout that too. But
yeah, that's another one that was
the song he had, Angel Eyes. Is that what?
Yes, that was the big. That was the real big one.
Yeah, third movie in a row that was on my list that I crossed off because I knew.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
I kept the obvious ones on, and you took them off.
No. I told Sean that I purposely went outside the box on most of my picks because I didn't want to repeat. So that's the only reason. because yeah, I agree with every movie that's been mentioned so far. For the most part, I agree with.
Nice.
So.
Good.
Okay, 1982. See, we're slowly starting to move up in the time. This was one that, unfortunately, again, I couldn't see theatrically. It was before I started working at the theater. I was 15 at the time, and this was rated R. But it was a collaboration between two icons in my mind, Stephen King and George A. Romero. And I'm talking about Creepshow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Another movie. To me, this is the greatest anthology movie ever. And even though I own it, same thing. If I'm watching cable and I see any part of that movie, I will stop and I'll watch the rest of it and I'll quote it right back to the TV. Call her Billy. Everybody does. You know, I mean, I will go, you know, I can hold my breath a long time, Richard. You know, I mean, I do. I quote back and forth with the damn movie screen, just like I did when I was a kid. I love Creepshow. So that's my next pick.
I never saw Creepshow all the way through until very recently. I'd seen bits and pieces of it over the years through surfing channels and catching parts of it on HBO and whatnot, but I had never sat down and watched it beginning to end until I did it for my Halloween 15 a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And loved it. But
yeah. I mean, even the cockroach story, because I don't like cockroaches, but even that, E.G. Marshall is a tour de force in that episode. You know, I mean, Mrs. Katzenjammer, you know, I mean, he's just such an asshole, you know. But yeah, I love Creepshow. I could watch that thing all the time.
Now, is there a third one or not?
Yes, there is, but it was a Shudder movie.
Okay.
And it's god awful. It's unwatchable.
Okay, that's what I heard.
Yeah. Scream Factory did like a limited edition release for it, I know. But I wouldn't waste money on it. I saw it on Shudder for free and I was pissed. So yeah.
All right.
But then again, I'm not a huge fan of the second movie though either. I love the raft in the second movie. The other two stories I could take or leave, but the first first movie, every episode I love.
Yeah. What'd you say, Kenny?
I said you didn't like the cigar store Indian?
Not really. I like the hitchhiker story better than the Indian one. Oh, thanks for the ride, lady. I kind of got a kick out of that, you know. But again, it's mainly because the first Creepshow, even though it was a low budget movie, it didn't feel like a low budget movie. It felt like a proper movie. To me, Creepshow 2 is just a cheap knockoff. Romero wrote one of the stories, and that's it. He was a producer. Yeah. It's totally different people, and only one of those stories is based on a Stephen King story, which is The Raft, and it's the best one. You know, so
that I seen 2 before I seen 1.
That's probably why.
Yeah.
You know, because again, I had seen the first Creepshow a good 50 times before I didn't see Creepshow 1 theatrically, but I saw Creepshow 2 theatrically.
Oh, okay.
And I was, like I said, I was very disappointed. As soon as the cartoon wraparound shit started, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? You know, I mean, it felt cheap, you know, you know, it bothered me. But that being said, if I would have seen it first, I probably would have totally felt differently about it.
Yeah.
Right. You wouldn't know what you were missing.
Right.
Yeah. All right. My next one from 96. Twister.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
Well, Kenny's the only one that gets the fireworks. I don't know why.
I ignite your Vic.
Oh,
do the rock out horns. Don't you get the laser show for that? Do those. Well, like if you do that, sometimes it does like a laser show. I've seen some people do it. That maybe it doesn't like it for you, but sorry. Anyway, I've just seen some people do that.
I'm being pumped. You know, Corey said, "Hey, let's see if I can make Jim do."
It doesn't work because I told you. Yeah, look what I made him do on the live stream.
All right, Sean, I'm sorry. Go back to Twister.
Twister's a fun one.
You're fine. No, I saw it theatrically and I loved it, but it's just one of those movies that you can just pick up anywhere because there's really, I mean, seriously, there's not that much of a plot to it. So you can pick it up anywhere and it's great. I mean, it's like a movie made for channel surfing.
Yeah.
So you can just kind of pick up and watch it from wherever. So, and my wife loves it. So we watch it all the time.
Great popcorn movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, like sitting there. I'm blanking on her name now, but somebody was just posting something. They were joking about how, You know how many times a day I dream about having that meal at the aunt's or the her mom's house or whatever, where they got steak and eggs going and potatoes and gravy, and they're just like slopping the plates. And somebody was like, "You don't know how many times a day I dream about sitting down with that table and having that meal there." And I remember at the time, I don't know why it stands out, but that at that time it was a huge product placement. That's when Dodge Ram finally redid their truck, and that was their big trying to push back into the market. And that was his truck in that movie, that they're running around in most of the time.
Oh yeah.
And I still remember, I'm like, oh, they're hurting the truck. It was like, I don't know what it cost at the time. It's a lot more now, but thinking it was a pretty pricey truck, and that was their big reveal.
Oh wow!
Well, they revealed it before, but that was a big deal having that that Ram, the new design in that
red truck that he drove. Yep.
I remember coming out of that movie. We seen it in the movies, and the biggest debate was who to bang first, Helen Hunt or Jamie Gertz.
Yeah.
Always a running motif with you and your friends.
I swear to God.
You might not lose out too bad either. No, I'm just kidding.
Jamie Gertz is worth an awful lot of money now.
Oh yeah, she's a billionaire, isn't she?
Yeah.
Is she?
For real?
She married the guy
for real.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
She married who?
She married the guy that owns the Atlanta Hawks basketball team.
Well, good for her.
Yeah, I think he owns the hockey team too.
Well, of course he does.
But yeah,
because poor people only own one professional team. You got to have like multiple.
No, she moved up in the world. Let's put it that way.
Wow.
That's why you don't see her in anything anymore. She's
she doesn't have to. Doesn't have to be.
Exactly.
All day. Yeah.
All right, my next one, and I've told this story before, but Corey, you're new to the circle.
Oh no, I know what's coming.
It was from 1984. It was my freshman year of high school. I watched this. I am not lying to you. Every day, my freshman year of high school, and it was Bachelor Party. Bachelor Party with Tom Hanks.
That donkey.
Oh my God! I can sit and read. My mom used to get so pissed at sitting watching it with me and my brother because we would recite the lines word from word, and she goes, "Why the hell do you have to have the volume on?" So my brother would go, "Okay." He would mute.
Just watch what you want to watch, and don't have to.
So she would get pissed and just go walk out of the room, And Chris is like, "Dude, we can watch the nude part now."
That was one I wasn't supposed to watch, and I saw younger because I have an older brother that's 6 years older than me, and he probably shouldn't have been watching it at the time either. But anyway, the whole donkey thing in that movie, I'm like, what? Like that was pretty shocking at that moment. Before pre-internet, I was like, what do you mean they have a donkey in the show?
There's so many lines from that because I was going to culinary school at the time. Okay, and it's like, paprika, you made me the happiest spice in the world. We would do that, and it's like when he comes over and goes, I hope you like potato salad, chunky style, my favorite. And it's just a bowl of like potatoes, like laying in there. So anytime that comes on, I just sit and like laugh, and just roll laughing because it's terrible that you realize these movies so much, and if you bring them up to if I came and met like Tom Hanks by chance, I would go, and Cleveland wins the pennant, He'd be like, what the hell are you talking about? Your movie from 41 years ago, So,
are you Mr. Nicholas, or should I just call you Mr. Dick?
Foot long and then some. Chippendale Star Attraction.
Weird meat in my palm.
I like when the mom's like Amy from Bosom Buddies is sitting there like eating something, and she's going.
Yep.
To keep
foreign meat in my hand. Okay, Corey, you're up.
No, sorry, I'm excited about that one because I was like, I haven't seen that so long. I was looking up to see who all was in that because I was like, who do I remember in that? But Tawny
Katane.
Tawny Katane.
Oh,
and Michael Dudikoff, the American Ninja himself.
Oh yeah.
He's the waiter who can't say Parmesan.
Oh gosh.
Because I don't eat cheese because I get phlegm and it always makes me cough up.
Oh, and Jim, speaking of the last one, you had brought up Hot Dog, the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Tawny Katane's best friend is the girl in Hot Dog that played
girl?
Bobby, the blonde.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The one that didn't get naked.
Yeah, well, she did get naked in Hot Dog, the movie. 40 years later, I got to see Yabo.
And the circle is complete.
I swear to God, I'm like,
my work is done here.
Like, oh, I didn't see that one. And I watched it on Tubi, not a sponsor. And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh my God, that's Bobby from Bachelor Party. Why didn't Jim say about that? And I'm like, oh, that's great.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
The more I think about it, you're right.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Corey.
You're fine. So I'm going to throw out, I believe the newest movie out of all these. We were kind of talking about, we were kind of running into some older movies, just the time frame. So this is one that I actually have come across because I don't have cable or satellite right anymore, streaming. But this is one that if it ever popped up, I would watch it at any point in there. So newest one on my list, we got Miles Teller, J.K. Simmons, and Whiplash.
Oh, nice!
Oh, wow.
So this is one I enjoyed this one way more than I thought I was going to. I didn't know what to expect when I went into it, but man, it's intense. So I was laughing also before, some of these comfort movies, they're not comforting movies.
Right.
No.
But when we're talking about you're flipping through the channel, no matter where it's at in that movie, you're going to watch the rest of the thing. This hits that completely for me. Man, the two of them in this and the finale, I don't know if you've seen it or not, but not to go into it, but that final scene, the performance, man, that's intense. If you get anxiety easy, you probably wouldn't enjoy this one a whole lot. I mean, there's a lot of like, man, he's ruthless. J.K. Simmons in this one, but great. And, anyway, Whiplash, I could watch that anytime, any part of it, and whatever's left of it, I'll finish it.
As a lifelong drummer, I approve.
There you go. I figure you'd appreciate that too. With the
my calluses are starting to hurt just thinking about.
Yeah, exactly. You feel the pain.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, I love that. That movie's a little far fetched.
I know
as far as like the drumming goes, but I gotta admit, Miles Teller, he doesn't get enough recognition for that movie because J.K. Simmons dominates every scene he's in. I mean, he's phenomenal. Okay, rightfully deserved that Oscar. But Miles Teller, not only is he putting in that performance, he's doing that drumming,
which he's going like crazy.
I played drums for over 40 years and I couldn't do that shit.
Wow.
Like I said, my hat's off. Jazz drumming is a different animal altogether, and just the speed. It's like when he's doing that scene and the blood is flying and hitting, that shit is real.
Well, and that's real. That's how I think it hit really hard, is how realistic it was. Where, I mean, I know you said some parts of it far-fetched, but when he's like going at it like that, and you see the pain on his face, the sweat, and then you see some blood like going with that, you're just like, I don't know. It hits.
It's happened to me, not to that extent, obviously. Okay. But there's been times where I'd be going crazy, playing metal, whatever I'm playing, and look down thinking that it's just sweat on my fingers and there's just blood everywhere, because you're just there, But,
well, you're talking about the calluses, you got blisters and whatever.
I haven't picked up a pair of drumsticks in almost 10 years and I still got calluses on my hands from those sticks. I mean, it's just, great movie, Corey.
But that's one that I think it's kind of cool too, where that got life after it was a short film. They did, and then got life as a feature film in the theater. And so it's kind of cool when you don't always get to see that all the time, where there's a chance given to something like that. That's not like, and no shade on it. I love sci-fi. I love the big blockbuster movies, but when something's not that big money blockbuster draw, to get a chance to get out there, and
absolutely,
that was really good.
Nice, great pick. Okay, back to the 1982, the greatest geek year ever.
Yep.
That was the greatest geek year ever, and that was also the summer of swords and sandals films, one of which was The Beastmaster, which that's not the one I'm talking about, but since we're talking about cable movies, the old joke used to be HBO stood for, hey, Beastmaster's on, because it was on all the time, okay? Conan the Barbarian, of course, would be on my list, okay? But I had to go a little bit deeper than that. And of the three movies, the one that I watched the most on cable back then, as a kid, was The Sword and the Sorcerer.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
I absolutely love this cheese fest because this is a cheese fest. The star of this, Lee Horsley, who was a TV star, Matt Houston at the time, okay? And the love interest, Kathleen Beller, was on Dynasty at the time, okay?
Nice.
And the heavy, Richard Lynch, well, he wasn't on TV at the time, but Richard Mall was. He was on Night Court at the time, okay? I mean, you could tell. This is a Conan type movie, but oh my God, it is cheesy. It is ridiculous. It is so much fun. And you want to talk yams? There's lots of yams in that movie, Kenny.
That's one of the that's a movie I want to get. It's so damn expensive.
This was not available anywhere for years unless you got like a DVD bootleg, okay? Scream Factory put this out about a year ago as a 4K Blu-ray. And again, I don't have 4K. I got it for the Blu-ray because I wanted this movie. I've been looking for this movie for years, and it's a beautiful transfer. Beautiful transfer. The best thing about this, because again, I'm a cinephile. I'm into the geeky shit. On the Blu-ray, they got a bunch of, special features and stuff. But Albert Pian, the director, who just sadly passed away not too long ago, but he's telling stories about the set. And apparently Richard Lynch, who plays the villain in the movie, was so blazed out of his mind on cocaine during the filming of the movie that half the time he wouldn't even show up on set because he was out trying to score cocaine.
Oh, jeez.
Gotta have priorities.
And it's like you watch the movie and it totally makes sense.
You're like, because, I get it.
You can tell in his performance, he is so over the top crazy. It's like, yeah, no wonder he's wired, but yeah, Sword and the Sorcerer is great. Check it out if you've never seen it.
I've got to check that out. That sounds right up my alley, and I have never seen that before.
Oh, you would love it, Sean.
Oh,
they even got a sword with 3 blades on it that you push a button and they fly out like they're jet propelled and shit. I mean, it's just insanity.
Awesome.
It's so good.
I recognize the artwork from the video store, but I've never bothered renting it. Never saw it, so I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah,
you
would love it.
It's been decades since I've seen that, so it almost be like a first time watch again.
Yeah, but I'm thinking too.
Yeah, but like you said, I never had cable growing up. I was out on a farm, rural living. But my great cousin, or right about my same age, that lived in town. I'd get to go hang out with him, and they had HBO and Cinemax, so I got to see some great movies like that. Staying up late when the parents thought we were asleep. So
yep. That's the way to do it.
Yep.
Corey's like the poor kid on in vacation who lives on a farm. So what do you do for fun? I got a stack of nudie books this time.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I know where my dad's Playboy stash is at, if you know. Oh gosh, I felt like the Amish kid when I would go to my cousin's. What is this thing that has the people in the box? But it's crazy now. You think about it, everything's just at your fingertips. But
absolutely,
there was a time where that wasn't for everybody.
That's true.
Right. Yeah. Oh, well. All right. 1983. I'm going back and...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit. I just said that.
National Lampoon's Vacation. That's been a classic when I was single, and my wife thankfully loves it, so we watch it all the time. We watch any of the vacation movies except European Vacation. That's the only one we don't watch.
Yeah, I don't like that one.
I don't think I've ever seen that beginning to end, but we've seen all the other ones. Yeah.
I'm not surprised if you don't like it. Like, I'm not judging that, but you've never seen it all the way through.
I don't think I've ever seen it all the way through. I may have seen it once, like when it first came out or was on TV the first time, but I don't remember that much of it. And I haven't watched it in forever. So I don't think I've seen it all the way through or can't remember it. But
so is Vacation your favorite out of all of them? Or just the one you would go to the most? Like
Christmas Vacation is my favorite.
Okay.
But yeah, Vacation is the one we watch on TV the most. We usually save Christmas Vacation for Christmas time, but yeah, we love it. And again, it's another one my wife could quote. So I'll encourage that.
There's so many quotes from that movie.
Yeah.
You could do. I think you're all fucked in the head.
One of my favorites is, you think these guys know the Commodores? I mean, that's so like out of the blue. People today, they wouldn't even know who the hell the Commodores were. You know?
Yeah, that's a great one. Yeah, another movie that would not be made today.
No.
Great movie.
Well, let's put it this way: when they did make it again, when they did that new Vacation movie, it was terrible.
Yeah, that was.
I never watched it.
Yeah,
I never watched it. But yeah, that's my favorite. That's my favorite Chevy Chase movie, without a doubt. Is the original Vacation. It's just so funny.
He's got a lot of good ones, but it's as far as the vacation movies go, Christmas Vacation is my favorite. But yeah, of the Chevy Chase movies, this one is probably top 3. So yeah,
great pick.
And you got to love the station wagon in that too. Right?
Yes,
the family truckster.
The family truckster. Yes.
Why is it still running, Clark? All new engines do that, honey. You think you hate it now? Wait until you drive it.
All right, my next one up is, I know Sean's wife will love this one, and this one is Summer Rental, which I
great movie.
Oh yeah,
great movie.
So, and I told Sean he has to like DVR the if it ever comes on TV, because it will explain so much from the movie. Like there's a running gag of the dog eating the wicker furniture in the living room, and when the real family comes to get everybody together, and you see the black family fall off the couch at the end of it, the dog had been eating a leg of the wicker furniture.
Nice.
And there's also a scene where he's eating the eggs.
At the beginning,
There's like a long scene where he's doing that when he's turning the radio dials.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, they just released it on Kino, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be picking that up.
Yep.
We've had quite a few SNL alumni showing up in the film picks tonight.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
The age group.
Yeah.
And they're great.
For the three of us.
And they're great. Yeah.
The 3 of us especially, because we're all within a couple of years of each other, and we all grew up with those Saturday Night Live movies.
Yeah.
When they were good.
Area. Yeah.
They were good. Yeah.
Yeah. Young.
Yes. Young at heart.
Okay, Corey.
All right. We're going to go with, let's go. Okay. I'm going to go with this one. Like I said, I picked too many, but maybe it was good because if there's anything else picked, I can go to it. But I'm going to go with this one. I was actually just talking about it last night, unrelated, but it's kind of like a different type of superhero movie, or almost anti-superhero movie, but Unbreakable.
Nice.
That's a good one.
Bruce Willis, and you got Samuel L. Jackson. I enjoy. I was just saying last night, I enjoyed the trilogy, but this one by far is, as I smack my microphone because I'm a professional, sorry, is my favorite out of them. And I don't know why. It's just gritty, more down to earth, but I love the comics growing up and superhero movies, and this was just kind of a different take of that. And anyway, I I can watch this one at any point.
Yeah, that's
Shyamalan's best movie.
Yeah,
I'd agree.
Yeah. When that came out, it was like the first round of superhero movies, like the original X-Men movie and the original Spider-Man movie, and that was like if superheroes were real, it would be like that.
Yeah,
it was believable.
It grounded it a little bit more, where it wasn't like really over the top, but like, what if there were some people that just had not over the top, not like completely Superman, but you had some strengths or abilities above the normal person, but there were still things that grounded them. And I thought that was a good matchup between Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson. And that was cool how they brought that out too, with relating that to comic books. And like, you know, these are like the ancient Egyptian kind of like tales that were told, you know, like, you had things that would tie into history, but maybe people like this have been around us all the time. And that's what inspired these artists or these comics or these stories or these tales that you heard through the years, but they just maybe exaggerated them a little bit when they told the story, but there was some special things that came along with them too. But anyway, I loved it for that. Yeah, definitely more realistic, more gritty, but
absolutely.
Cool.
Great pick.
Yeah, like I said, it's definitely my favorite Shyamalan movie.
I would agree with you on that one. Me too.
Unbreakable, unless there's a puddle nearby.
Yeah, exactly. So I will say that, not going into spoilers or anything like that, but I would wish the thing would have wrapped up a little bit. We'll just say I wish it would have wrapped up a little differently than it did. And
I'll go so far as to say that glass was an abomination.
Okay.
I hated that movie because it's a 2-hour movie, and for an hour and 40 minutes, you're watching three guys chained to a chair getting psychoanalyzed. And then when it finally gets to that final conflict, that resolution to that conflict, I was like, are you friggin' kidding me?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry. It was just,
huge letdown.
Yes. Huge letdown. Missed opportunity is what I would call it.
Yep.
You know, that's a movie that needed a major rewrite before they started filming, in my opinion.
But I really enjoyed Split, though.
No, I like Split.
Split was great.
And that was cool, too, where at the time where you didn't know right away that it was tied in.
Split was incredible. You were like, whoa, where the hell did that come from?
But that's what was cool. It was kind of before you could get all that handed to you before you went to the movie.
Yeah.
Like, that was, to me, it was a complete surprise when I saw the end of that. And I was like, oh man. And as much as I liked Unbreakable, that was a pretty cool reveal.
Right.
McAvoy is great in Split.
He's I enjoy
phenomenal.
Him. Yeah.
Great pick. Okay, 1983. This was a movie that I watched with my dad theatrically. I had been working at the theater for about 3 months at the time. And I would give my parents passes so they could go anytime they wanted. But this particular movie, my mom had no desire to see. So I was like, you know what, Dad? My night off, I'll go with you and we'll go see it together. So I held off until we watched it together. And both of us absolutely loved it. And I love this movie more by each passing year. And I'm talking about Brian De Palma's Scarface.
Nice.
And this is another one that I have owned on every form of media. And Corey, you were talking about earlier, those VHSs that had the two.
two tapes.
So did this one.
Yep.
And the last thing you would see is where Tony Montana's sitting in the room counting all the money.
Yeah.
And it zooms in on the clock and you see the camera, and that's how that first tape would end. And every time I've watched the Blu-ray or the DVD since, I keep thinking to myself, oh, got to get up in a minute to check. Oh shit, I'm watching it on disc. I don't have to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like Pavlov's dog. You know, like you hear the bell ring, you got to like start doing something. But yeah, you're used to doing that. But that I always found that interesting too. It's like they needed to put the break at a good spot.
Yeah,
you know, into where they would break that VHS tape up when they were the longer movies like that.
But that was another movie that I used to watch on cable a lot. That was another poster that was in the fire. Okay. But one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life was when they released that on commercial TV. It was on WGN at the time. and they spread it out over 2 nights. Okay.
Oh.
And the dub on that movie is absolutely hysterically funny. How'd you get that face, or how'd you get that scar, tough guy? Eating pineapple? Eating pineapple? What kind of pineapple you been eating, man?
It is funny what words they decide to throw into some of those.
I mean,
are you
unbelievably bad?
Not saying with that movie, but like you'd always see things with some of those movies are like, are you funning with me? Are you funning with me? Or like things like that. I'm like,
damn you,
yeah,
damn me. But yeah, I'll never forget. How'd you get that scar, tough guy? Eating pineapple, and it's like, wow.
That's what you chose. That's what you chose to use for that one.
So yeah, Scarface.
Greg brings up a good
absolutely
point.
Right.
They bring up use the different voices too. It'd be like out of a cartoon. It'd be like voice change.
Bad.
All right. My next movie, 96, Happy Gilmore.
Oh yeah.
Another one that was on my list and I took off.
And that probably wouldn't have been on my list, but it actually came on, and perfect timing this weekend. We stopped and watched it. So it was like, hey, perfect timing. We sat and watched it. Just happened to catch it right at the beginning. And I'm like, how many times have we done this for this movie? Yep, going on the list. So, yeah.
Jackass.
What's that?
Jackass.
The price is wrong, bitch.
Yeah.
You eat shit for breakfast?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, there's a lot of those funny ones on there.
Yeah, that's just a great movie. And it's funny because that came out, I think that came out after Billy Madison.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I always wondered like which one I liked more. It's definitely Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
I'd go for that too. I have fun with both of them, but I would agree. Yeah.
It's my favorite Sandler movie. It's the only one that if I'm channel surfing and it's on, I will stop and watch.
You
know, I was thinking this the other day. Adam Sandler's made like a lot of movies, okay, for like our generation, okay, but it's like he gets such a bad rap, like making juvenile movies and stuff like that. But I'll bet if you ask these people that are criticizing him, if they'll sit and watch like Happy Gilmore or Billy Madison, and how can you not laugh? You don't want to touch the hindy, and
so
they'd be like
hot.
on the floor, so hot, and it's just like they would probably. I mean, that's why it's like I don't understand. Like people get like when people bring up like Pauly Shore movies, they're like, oh, Pauly Shore movies, but they've sat and watched them before,
right?
Well, that's the thing. They'll crap all over them, but they'll be able to quote the movies.
Right.
Right. It's like I'm pretty sure there's some of them, whether they admit it or not.
Watch a Pauly Shore movie, buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
Weasel, wheeze the juice, wheeze the juice.
Yeah. I will say, I am not a huge Adam Sandler fan.
Me neither.
But I will say that two of his serious movies, Punch Drunk Love and Uncut Gems, are fantastic. I love both of those movies. As a serious actor, when he's trying to be a serious actor, he's fantastic. He's brilliant. Uncut Gems. If you wanted to stress yourself out, if you wanted to watch an anxiety double feature, Whiplash and Uncut Gems, you probably have
your anxiety double feature right there. But you know what? That's cool with some of the. I think of Adam Sandler and Jim Carrey, where they did a switch in their career from goofy funny to taking on some serious roles. And I think they both did a really great job.
Yeah,
in those switches that they spread their wings, what you say, or try something different. But I think they both did a good job with it.
And there was another one that Adam Sandler was in that I can't remember the name of. Rain Over Me, I think.
Yeah.
That one was.
Yeah, that's the 9/11 movie.
Yeah, that one was good too. I've only seen that one once, but that was all right. I didn't mind that one.
Him and Don Cheadle are in that one, I think.
Yeah, but I don't dislike Adam Sandler. It's just his kind of comedy, a little bit goes a long way. Happy Gilmore, though, I'll watch till the end of time. I love that movie. But
yeah, Happy Gilmore is the funniest movie in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's just so damn funny.
But yeah, definitely. Frankie said Sandler is the best. People will come around.
Hey, will,
okay.
Frankie.
All right, Kenneth.
All right, my next one up, Star Wars.
Okay.
Oh,
you're
Good
up,
night, everybody.
No. You gotta expand on that. You can't just drop Star Wars and move on. You might have a completely different take or experience with it.
I've told this. I probably will get emotional about this. It was 1977. I seen it in the movies with my mom, and I seen it on my birthday. I had been bugging my mom all the time to go see this movie since it came out because my uncle, if you're watching, hi Unc, he seen it with our next door neighbor at a drive-in, and I had been bugging my mom. Come on, Mom, we got to go see this. And it was the only time that I got to see the movie with just my mom. It was just me and my mom because we were having a party at McDonald's. Remember when you used to have the parties at McDonald's?
Oh, heck yeah.
So my aunt took my brother, and they were setting up the McDonald's, and I got to see Star Wars with my mom for my birthday.
Awesome.
And
That's awesome.
the only, because as you know me, like that. My mom sat and watched the movie, watching me watch the movie. Because, like, when the ship comes up, we only had a 13-inch TV.
Right.
You're watching it on the big screen, and it's just like, and my mom's like, your jaw dropped. And I was like, oh, gotta go see this movie again. Gotta go see it. And I'm like, Mom, how'd you like the movie? And she goes, I loved it because you liked it.
Mm-hmm.
That's
and
awesome.
That's like my favorite. Doesn't matter what time in the day, what time. If it's like one of those comfort movies where if I'm having a bad day, I'll just put on Star Wars because I know it'll cheer me up again just from that experience. So that's probably, of the movies experience that I've ever had, that was my favorite because I got to be with Mom.
Awesome, dude.
I love that, man. I'll say too, I actually went and watched a lot of movies with my mom. Before I could drive, people would give me crap about it, but I was like, I didn't care, but she would be cool and she'd hang out. But I think it was the same thing. She saw something I was excited about, and it was before I had a license. I couldn't drive and go and do it myself, and she'd go check it out with me. And then as I got older, she figured out that some of them, she decided she'd walk out and go to the other movie that was in the next theater over because it was more violent than she wanted to see. But I have so many great memories with my mom. She was a sweetheart. I love her to death, and it was so cool that she was willing to sometimes late night movies that she had to work the next day, but I was super excited about seeing something, and she'd take me out to go see it, and we'd go out, grab a bite to eat, and go hang out and see the movie. So great memories.
Absolutely.
So I can totally relate with that.
Yeah, and my mom took me to see Risky Business and My Tutor.
Wow.
Awkward. No.
So this week, Doc, I want to talk about.
Yeah, right.
I remember we went to see, it was me, my mom, and my brother. It was usually the three of us that went. And we went to see Revenge of the Nerds. And I remember with the pie scene, she kept on going. And we're like trying to cover our eyes and stuff. Yeah. And my brother's like, "Did you see that?" I'm like, "Shh, like cut it off, cut it off. Mom's there, but yeah.
Yeah, moms are great for that.
Yeah, scared for the moms.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
Oh, Kevin, that's what my mom did too, because we didn't have a lot of money, so
Same.
she would put popcorn. She would put potato chips. She would get Coke, or in my case Pepsi cans, and wrap it with foil so they would stay cold. And she would empty out her pocketbook when she got in the car. We had a Country Squire station wagon, and she would dump her pocketbook out and put the treats in. So when we would go, we would just pay for the ticket and just sit there. So all you would hear is the pop of the can, And she's like, "Guys, quiet,"
Well,
so
we didn't. we didn't have a lot of money growing up either, and it was the same thing. But I had some great memories with that. We'd pop some popcorn at home and put it in little baggies and take it in with us.
Popcorn and pretzels.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Shit, my wife still does that.
Well, save a lot of money.
Stop at the Dollar Tree on the way to the movie theater, go to the candy aisle and grab all this shit, you know?
Yeah.
Yep.
My old theater in Youngstown used to be right next to a Dollar Tree, and you can't imagine how many people would be taking stuff in. I'm just like,
that Dollar Tree probably made a lot of good money off of the theater being right there.
Oh man.
All right, Corey.
All right. I'm going to go back to a Western. I could have put so many different Westerns on these because I grew up with those, have a lot of good memories with them, love them. This is a somewhat newer one, so not necessarily when I was younger, but I can watch this at any point of it as well. But we got Unforgiven.
Nice.
Oh, that's a great one.
So, yeah, Eastwood, Hackman, Morgan Freeman, sorry, I was blanking. Just there's such a great cast in that too. But man, this okay, talking about movies, I could just sometimes I cheat and just drop into a particular scene. Like there's some nights where I'm like, I want to watch something, but I know I can't watch a whole movie. And it's kind of like talking about, I knew on Heat, the second tape was exiting the bank. The saloon scene.
I was just gonna say the saloon scene too. Yeah.
When Eastwood's walking up, and no spoilers, but like, you know what happened to Freeman and him walking up, and man, some lines of like, you just shot an unarmed man. I'm like, well, if he's gonna decorate his saloon with my friend, you better arm himself. You know,
should have armed himself.
Yeah, but.
Who's the owner of this shithole?
Yeah. You boys better clear out. He's just sitting there with a double barrel shotgun, and there's so many of them around there. But yeah, just some of those scenes are I'm like, oh, that's so bad. You know, like, and he's just like, you boys better clear out behind there. And all of them just scatter, you know? And I think this one brought some of the grittiness and some more realistic aspects of the Western movies into it too, because I like that his whole talking to, I'm blanking on the character's name, but that was right in the book. That was following Little Bill, you know, Gene Hackman's character. But, you know, he's like, how did you know who to shoot? And to do? He's like, you know, a lot of it's luck, but, you know, sometimes you like take out one and you'll have three scatter, and, you know, but it was like more realistic. Like not everybody was superhero, like gunslingers. Like it was more real life where a shot was fired and, you know, realistically people would start, you know, escaping out the back of the place or whatever. But, yeah. So Gene Hackman, you know, rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Another great movie in a long list of movies of his, but along with Clint Eastwood and Morgan Freeman, I think the three of those, there's so many movies I enjoy with all of them. But, yeah, I can pick that one up and watch it anytime, any part of the movie.
Absolutely. Great pick.
Stereo.
Great minds think alike again. Okay. This one is from 1990. And this one, again, I've owned on VHS, I've owned on DVD, I own on Blu-ray, and it doesn't matter if it's on cable or whatever. No matter where it is in the movie, I stop and I watch it. And I am glued to the screen every time. Martin Scorsese's Goodfellas.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite Scorsese movie, my favorite Mafia movie, one of my favorite soundtracks ever. Every piece of music in that movie is perfect, but especially the scene where Ray Liotta is coked out of his mind. He's convinced that everybody's following with the choppers, and they're playing Jump Into the Fire from Harry Nilsson in the background. It is so chaotic. And for the next 15 minutes of that movie, you feel like you're on coke because you're just glued to the screen going, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, what's going to happen? Holy shit. I mean, it's just, so I'm making the meatballs, and then I'm calling this bitch, and I'm saying, get off of there and use a different phone. What does she do? She hangs up the phone, picks up the same goddamn thing, and starts doing this. You know, I mean, yeah.
Did you stir the sauce?
Yep, love Goodfellas to death.
That portrayed the paranoia so well.
Yes, it is just so great.
There. Oh, there's some. That's such a great movie. The whole scene with him, at the time girlfriend, where he walks across to the neighbors with the Corvette after he, and he just comes back with a bloody gun. Is like, can you hide this? And she's like, I'm not gonna lie, I've never been more turned on in my life, or something like that. But
most girls would run away, but I gotta admit, I was turned on. Yeah, love it.
That's one of those masterpieces. And there's some cool scenes too where they play with sound and lights and stuff too. So there was the whole car trunk scene, the digging the grave, and kind of I believe, if I'm probably making stuff up now, but kind of a red light. It was the lighting and stuff.
It's from the taillights of the car.
Yeah.
But the trunk opened up while they're digging the grave the second time, and they're puking. Hey, here's an arm. Here's a chicken bone.
Yeah. Oh, he's hilarious.
I'm funny how?
Yeah, funny.
I'm here to amuse you.
Yeah. Am I a fucking clown? Come on. No, that's a great movie.
Okay, Sean.
All right.
We're running late.
Sorry. I'll shut up more for the rest of it.
No, it's fine. I was just going to say, usually we'll be over by now, but we're going to run a little late tonight. So
you got somebody that doesn't talk.
No.
It's all good, buddy.
It's fine. Yeah. So my next pick is from 1978. Whoop.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah. That was one I potentially had in my stack. That's
Me too.
A great movie.
I was just thinking, I think most of us have mentioned a Gene Hackman movie tonight.
Yeah.
That's a movie I saw in the theater. You guys were talking about the experiences you've had with, your mom in the theater. My dad and I did not have the greatest relationship going, but my dad would take me to the movies all the time. And I went to the theater to see this movie with my dad, and many, many, many other movies we went to see. But I just remember sitting down and watching the credits of this movie, and I think I was in 5th grade at the time. And if you remember the opening credits for this movie, the way they come in and they shoot out towards the screen, we all do the same thing.
I'm even hearing the music in my head.
Yeah,
when you were talking about that.
It's just sitting there watching the credits and seeing hearing the music and seeing the credits, and I was just sitting there. I'm in 5th grade, for crying out loud, and I'm thinking, this is going to be something great.
Yep.
And I knew that, and it hadn't even started yet, and I hadn't seen it yet. And I was just sort of present in the moment. And I was that way through the whole movie. And this movie has stuck with me ever since then. And, through all the other superhero movies that have been made since then, this to this day remains my favorite superhero movie of all time. So if it's on TV, you better believe I'm going to stop and watch it. I don't care where it is, at any scene, at any point, and the cast is great. Christopher Reeve will always be my Superman.
Yep.
Margot Kidder, the best Lois Lane, as far as I'm concerned. Gene Hackman is Lex Luthor. I mean, you could just go on and on. But I just saw something. I saw a reel. I think it was on Instagram, and somebody pointed something out that I never noticed before, and it cracked me up. That when Lex Luthor was showing his map of what California was going to be like after he did his, realignment of the coastline, one of the landmarks on the map was Tessmacher Peaks, referring to Miss Tessmacher's chest.
I didn't catch that one.
I didn't catch that either.
Yeah, I didn't see that, but if you go back and watch, there it is.
Yep.
2 little mountaintops, and it says Tessmacher Peaks.
That's his homage to
yes.
Damn.
I always liked Otis too.
Yes.
Yeah. Dead
Betty.
Yeah. Just a great movie all around.
Oh, that's a great one. And that was cool too, because that's before you got superhero movies like thrown out all the time. So like that was like one of the big times that you saw a comic book character really like blow up on a big screen. And I don't know. That's a great one. I love that one, and I'll watch that too.
Yeah. The motto was, "You'll believe a man can fly."
That's what I was just going to say.
Yeah. And
you did. You did.
Yeah.
I was 11, and I believed a man could fly. In that
well, it was the most realistic. They did a great job with
Yeah.
it, with what they could do with it. You know, when you compare that to like the old Superman TV, the show,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
or just like just see him like dropping down, you know, just like, you know, you don't see anything in between, and it was they were pushing a lot of special effects in that movie at the time.
Super big upgrade special effects wise.
Yeah.
All right, Kenny.
All right.
What's your last one?
Your last one.
My last one is 1989 Uncle Buck.
No, nice.
I was waiting.
My favorite. It's my favorite movie. That and Star Wars are my two favorite movies. For the opening day, opening weekend, I seen it 5 times in the theaters. Anytime it's on, that was another one. Me and my brother could sit and recite. And one time, I've told this story before again, the disc got stuck on French, and me and my brother were reciting the words line for line for my mom. And my mom finally said, "Can you fix the goddamn disc so I can watch it you know?" But that's my favorite movie of all time, next to Star Wars.
She's like, I didn't raise my kids to be bilingual.
Oh my gosh. She would get so pissed off when we would start reciting, and we're like, like that, you know. And my brother's handle on Prodigy, when we had Prodigy, was Kowalski tires. For the best in tires, see Shanice Kowalski. You know, it's 7:02 on W. I don't have to go to work today. Sponsored by Kowalski Tires. For the best in tires, see Shanice Kowalski. Tweedledee, tweedledee.
Well, and there you go.
Love it. I just love everything. Get in your mouth. Get out of here.
I think we're gonna have a watch along with Uncle Buck, and we're just gonna have Kenny narrate the whole movie.
Do it, yeah, in French. In French.
I'm telling you, I love that movie. I love that movie.
We got another Candy and another, SNL alum movie, and not surprising. There's so many.
Hey, put
good
it in the
ones.
cloud. Put it in.
Yeah, Candy was in Second City TV, but close enough.
He hosted.
Oh, sorry. I wasn't even thinking about that, but
it's all right.
You know what? You
They're
talk with me long.
Saturday Night Live, so
you talk with me long enough, I'll say something wrong. But I always think about him in I don't know, with some of the group, that.
Well, he was, he was in Stripes with Bill Murray.
Yeah,
he was in, Great Outdoors, which you said earlier with Dan Aykroyd. So
improvisational.
Yeah.
I think he was like an unofficial Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think I just automatically throw him into that group. But no, that's true. I didn't think about that. But it's kind of a Saturday Night Live adjacent show.
I watched them both when I was a kid.
Oh yeah.
So, alrighty, sir. What you got for number 10?
All right, we're gonna throw out here. Like I said, not all of them are comforting movies, but ones that may eventually would comfort you by the end of it. But another long one. It's funny how I have a lot of these that will be longer running ones, but I would, if I see them pop up, I would just keep on watching it. But I'll say the Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, nice.
The other one that was on my list.
Oh yeah, there you go. I know people give me crap about this one sometimes because they're like, "Oh, everybody says that's on
a perfect movie."
Yeah, but I saw this in the theater, saw it many, many times. I really enjoy this one. But Tim Robbins and Morgan Freeman, it's a great movie.
Yes.
Quick question for everybody: why do you think it was marketed wrong, or what? Why wasn't that a big hit at the theaters?
The name,
the
Shawshank Redemption. Nobody knew what that meant.
Yeah, a marketing kind of.
And the name of the short story was Rita Hayworth and the Shawshank Redemption, which is even worse.
Yeah,
right.
But
I mean, you get it.
Name it. You couldn't name it Jailbreak. You couldn't name it, Hope.
Right.
That's an almost impossible movie to market.
Right.
Without giving away what happens.
Right.
Yeah, some of the channels would play that all the time on repeat.
Some still do.
That's right. TBS
all the time.
Yep.
All the time.
But I'd flip. That's one of them I remember flipping through and be like, "Oh,
yep."
He just going to prison now, or he's just going, he just starting the library at the prison, or whatever. And I keep on watching it, but yeah,
there was Shawshank on my list right there.
There you go.
Because I knew somebody was going to mention it. So I'm glad that you did.
I can watch that one anytime. But great actors, great story. At the time too, that was another one that was probably pushing the length of movies for the time a little bit. I don't know. I have to even look up.
Green Mile is longer than Shawshank.
But I think that kind of suffered a little bit too, didn't it?
That movie made $100 million domestically.
Okay.
That was a hit.
Yeah.
Whereas Shawshank wasn't.
But it also had Tom Hanks in it too.
Yeah.
Well, and also by that point, Shawshank had become a huge video hit.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And people were like, that one was marketed from the creators of the Shawshank Redemption,
Right.
Stephen King and Frank Darabont, and then people were attracted to it.
It rode the coattails.
So IMDb says Shawshank Redemption is 2 hours and 22 minutes. Yeah. So nowadays it doesn't seem like too crazy, but I think at the time that was pushing it pretty good for 1994. Yep, yeah. 94. So.
Okay.
It certainly doesn't seem long.
No, but I think at the time you're used to like hour 30, hour 45.
Right. Absolutely.
I got you beat on my next one. As far as time goes.
Okay. Let's bring it on.
Bring it on.
Because 1994, as a matter of fact, same year.
All right.
And this one clocks in at 154 minutes, so 2 hours and 34 minutes. And this movie was a phenomenon, critically and financially. But at the time when it first came out, it started off small and it blew everybody away, even though it had John Travolta and Bruce Willis and Christopher Walken and everybody and their brother. I'm talking about Pulp Fiction.
I already wrote it down before you said it.
I saw this 5 times theatrically, bought it or rented it the day it came out on video and recorded it that night because I had a dual deck VCR, and then hosted a party at my house so we could watch Pulp Fiction together. We ran that video out. Then I bought it on video. Then I bought it on DVD. Then I bought it on Blu-ray, and I still watch it on TV whenever it's on. It's
other than that, you don't watch it all.
Yeah, I might have a problem with Pulp Fiction because I've seen it at least, and this is not an exaggeration, at least 200 times, and I'll probably watch it another 200 times before I die. I just love it to death. So.
I tell you what, 1994 had some bangers.
1994 was top heavy.
Yep.
Okay, go back to my 50 years of film, and at the beginning of 94, I go on a rant.
Okay.
About how shitty that year was, except it's top heavy. That was the year that, seriously, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I rattled off like a list of 20 movies that were considered major releases. And we're talking stuff like Car 54, Where Are You? All kinds of stupid shit. And it was like, are you kidding me? But for that year, I only had like 12 titles, but they were all great.
Oh, I was going to say, but they'd be like 12 heavy hitters,
Yeah.
That's the year. I mean, you got Pulp Fiction, you got Shawshank, you got Clerks,
Forrest Gump,
Crow, you had Speed, you had True Lies, you had Leon the Professional. I mean, there's some great movies that year, and then there's a bunch of crap.
Yeah.
You even have Dumb and Dumber, and one I know maybe it's not like huge, but I actually enjoyed it. But Maverick. They had that.
Yes,
I like Maverick. I don't own it, but I like Maverick.
Yeah, I like Maverick.
It's Pat. Yeah, that was one of them. Yeah, 94. Like I said, top heavy. When it's good, it's great. But there was a lot of crap that year.
But would you consider that a successful year? Not to take it too long. If you could have 10 to 12 great films in a year, would you say that's an awesome year, or would you be like, none of the rest were any good?
When I was doing that series, years that I thought were great because of some of those top heavy titles, then you'd compare them to another year that had 30 titles that were very good and maybe 2 titles that were excellent. But to me, that year was better because there was more of a variety, and it's all by and large very good to great. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I hear you for sure. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And I'll shut up too.
No, you're both fine. I was just going to say I had a girl, a a girl break up with me, if you want to say we were dating. We went on a date, and she just totally tore me a new one because I took her to see Pulp Fiction.
Did you see it first before that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, that'd be about as good
as you were bringing her into.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be about as good as me in college taking a date to Seven, and she was like, "What the hell?" I still remember that one. She was like, "Not that. That was not."
I'm trying to think of which date is worse. You got what's in the box over here, and you got bring out the gimp over here.
Oh, yeah, no, she was not having that one at all, and I was like, "Nope, that was the last date of our life." Or
yeah, this I think this was the second date we were on, maybe, I don't know, but we were driving home, and she's like, "Why did you take me to that dirty movie? It's disgusting. It's about drug dealers and creeps."
That was pretty much the conversation I had too back from that one.
Bring the needle down in a stabbing motion. Yeah. You mean I got to stab her 3 times? No, you don't have to stab her 3 fucking times.
And I was like, that movie was great. You didn't like it? Oh my God.
This is our compatibility test. Like, watch this movie.
Yeah.
I worked in an office when that movie came out with the little cubicles. Yeah. And I had 2 women that were like kitty corner to where I was. So we couldn't see each other, but we could hear each other voices. And I'll never forget that I heard the 2 of them talking about Pulp Fiction because they saw it the night before. And, oh my God, that movie was so gross. And oh my God, I couldn't believe this. And oh my God. And about that time, all I do is I go, bring out the gimp. And I was like, shut up, Jim. And I'm like, the gimp's asleep.
Just start playing some of the soundtrack.
You better wake him up, you know? And for the next 6 months, man, I would terrorize those 2 with that shit.
I got a quick story. I was working at Movies Unlimited at the time when that came out, and I'll never forget. A lady came up with her 2 kids. They had to be like about 15 and 16, and the kid goes, "Oh, I want to get this. No, I want to get this." You know, and the mom goes, "I'm getting the movie with Vinnie Barbarino," and she put it up, and it was Pulp Fiction. I'm like, "Ma'am, do you really know what this is? And she goes, "Yeah, it's the funny guy from the Look Who's Talking and Vinnie Barbarino." And I'm like, "Okay." And
have a nice night.
And my friend goes,
"Let me know what you think about that."
My friend goes to me and goes, "I really think you should tell her." I'm like, "Hey, she wants to see Vinnie Barbarino. She's going to see Vinnie Barbarino." She came back and I asked her, "Hey, how'd you like the movie?" And she goes, "There was so much naughty shit in that movie." And I was like, you know.
Were you like, "I know, it was great, right?"
And yeah, exactly. And she goes, "That's not the Barbarino I knew." And I was like, "No, it's not, ma'am. Sorry you had a bad time with it."
He's changed.
Yeah.
And that's what they put on the box afterwards. That's not the Barbarino I knew.
That's not the Barbarino I know.
My store manager put on there, star of Look Who's Talking and Vinnie Barbarino.
Oh gosh.
Talk. And it was just like, I swear to God, we would put, like, you know, you had staff pics on there, and it was like, after my boss had heard that story, he went and changed the box, and he said, starring Vinnie Barbarino from Look Who's Talking, like that. So when I remember people would bring it up and go, "What the fuck does Vinnie Barbarino have to do with Pulp Fiction?" And I'm like, and I tell him the story, he would just start laughing about it, you know. But yeah, I'll never. Every time I hear Pulp Fiction or hear the Al Green song, I think of that lady. God bless her.
Well, if any movie revived a
career,
that's what, as I'm searching for the word. Thank you, Kenny. But like, seriously,
yeah. I brought him back from the dead.
Oh my gosh. And he was demanding money after that, you know, for a while.
Oh yeah. He was a big deal for a while.
Arrow was a huge hit. With Christian Slater. That was a good
Face Off.
Well,
Face Off.
Face Off was really big.
Phenomenon, yeah.
Michael, yeah. Yeah. Battlefield Earth. Oh, wait a minute.
Well, never mind.
All right, we got one more to go.
I forgot Battlefield Earth, what the fuck they called the humans in that. Like human monkeys or some shit. I only saw that movie once, man. It was so bad.
I think
missed,
I made
Man
missed
Animal.
that one.
Man Animals. That's what they were
Man
called.
Animals.
Man Animal.
You man animal. Yes, yes, I am.
We see you, Sarah. All
Okay.
right. Last one for the night for me. Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
Oh, nice.
Now, the reason I'm picking that may not be the reason you're thinking. It's not because I think it's a great movie, and I do. The reason I will stop and watch it is because a lot of it was filmed in Cleveland, and
nice.
Around the time that it was filmed, I was doing a lot of work downtown and around downtown Cleveland, and I actually got to see a lot of it being made, or saw some of the scenes being filmed. So I will stop and watch it, just trying to see the scenes that were filmed, that I got to see the crew on, because I used to have to go down there. I volunteered over on the west side of Cleveland 2 days a week, so I would drive through all the time, and I'd always see the sets being set up and the camera crews and whatnot. And then I was doing a fundraiser in downtown Cleveland, and I remember they were loading a big, super nice Corvette onto the back of a tractor trailer. I keep looking for that car, and I have yet to see it. But it was this beautiful blue Corvette. I don't know what happened to it, but I don't know if it made the movie or not. But I will always stop and watch when this is on.
Was it that one? Which one did Black Widow pull up in a Corvette to pick up Captain America when he's like on your left when he's running?
That's Winter Soldier.
Okay.
Yeah.
She pulls up in a Corvette, but I can't remember what color it is for the life of me. But I think it was a Corvette. She pulled up and was like, "Hey, boys," and when they're running, I'm almost positive. I'll have to look it up again, but I don't know what color I'm blanking on that. But I am almost
it was a
positive
dark blue. It's like a dark blue.
I know what I'm going to be doing after this stream. Putting that movie in. But yeah, I just remember when they were doing the whole on your left running thing, and she pulls up and was like, "Hey, boys." And Rogers has to jump in with her to go take off or something.
Okay. I'll have to look, because the scene of the scene or the downtown area where they filmed that wasn't where that scene was. Okay. So that's why I'm probably not looking for it, but I'll have to check.
So that's pretty cool. So like, can you watch that movie and be like, "Oh, I know that corner," or "I know that building," or like, there's things that you recognize when you're watching
really sharp.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. There was one bridge. There's a bridge that goes past what is now Huntington Bank Stadium or Field, Huntington Bank Field, or whatever the hell it is. I call it Cleveland Brown Stadium because that's what it's started being. But there's a bridge that I used to have to drive over every day that I would go over and volunteer on the west side. And that's where there's a big battle between Captain America and the Winter Soldier, where they're on top of the cars and there's a lot of shooting. And then that same bridge is featured as being in Washington, D.C. That background that you see is Cleveland, but it's supposed to be Washington, D.C. And it's really cool. There's a lot of stuff that that you see in the background, and I'm like, that's Cleveland. It's not Washington, D.C. So it's pretty cool. But that's why I watch it. It's a great movie. I don't sell it short. I like the movie a lot, but I'm usually playing spot that building or spot that scene, or
cool.
But that's funny how they will like there'll be scenes in Cleveland, but then they'll do like a quick shot and you'll just see like the White House
right
in the background or something like that.
Yeah.
And you're like, the rest of it's like, yep. I had to bring up Disney Plus. It's a dark colored Corvette that she pulls up. So you'll have to like go back and look at that and see if it's the one you remember or not.
I'll have to check. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I hate it when films are set in Chicago and it's quite obviously Vancouver.
Yeah,
it's like, are you fucking kidding me? I know Chicago. This ain't Chicago,
Well, don't they always like joke about like Toronto or Vancouver being like New York North, or something like that? Because it's cheaper for them to film.
Yeah. Jason Takes Manhattan should have been Jason Takes Vancouver.
Yeah. The Avengers was filmed in Cleveland too.
Oh,
partially. Yeah.
Huh.
So
the new Superman wasn't it?
Yeah, the new Superman that's coming out this summer. Yeah.
Yeah.
The beat was filmed. Part of it was filmed in downtown Cleveland, and then part of it was filmed about 10 minutes from my house at Headlands Beach, where there's some sort of scene. I don't know what it is because obviously I haven't seen the movie yet. But there's like a military camp, and that was filmed on the beach. And I've gone to that set and I took pictures. It's on my Instagram.
Nice.
But yeah, the Cleveland, thankfully, due to a bunch of tax breaks, the state of Ohio has gotten. Cleveland's been a good place for them to film movies. So there's always a movie being filmed here. A lot of little movies. White Boy Brick was filmed here with Matthew McConaughey, and I could name a whole bunch of them. But yeah,
I'm kind of surprised.
Go ahead, Corey.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I'm just kind of surprised like some bigger cities like that don't do more like tax breaks or like incentives for, films that can come in there and still like you said, they're filming in Washington D.C., but they can pull it off in Cleveland. Some places like that to bring money in because there's a whole crew that's going to be living there basically for a little while and bring some stuff in. But it sounds like Texas is trying to do that. Have you seen the whole McConaughey and Woody Harrelson? Like they did kind of some spoof trailers, kind of like, hey, you come to Texas, look at all the different scenery you could pull off in here, filming. But
yeah, Illinois does that. That's why a lot of stuff is filmed in Chicago. I mean, Christopher Nolan filmed all 3 Batman movies in Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and Georgia has always been big.
Lots of movies are filmed in Georgia. I know Walking Dead was filmed down in Georgia.
Yeah,
the original. Atlanta and the surrounding areas is a big place to film nowadays as well. Yeah, it's a lot of places are like that. And it's just crazy, like to see the very small. I know it's probably not a very big scene, but especially for the Superman set that was on the beach, the set itself was not very big, but the setup around it was twice as big as the set. They had tents and all sorts of stuff set up, and the lighting fixtures that were all set up around the scene. So I didn't see them actually filming. I saw it before the filming started, but they were setting everything up, and it was like twice as big for the production than was what they were actually using the film. So it's crazy. You can only imagine how many people are responsible for a production like that. So
for real,
just unbelievable. But anyway, we are going way over.
That's par for the course when you invite me on. Sorry.
That's all right.
So I had a blast though, but I was going to say again, not to take longer, but I really appreciate you all having me on. This was so much fun. I do it again in a heartbeat. So yeah, we'll have to come up with some other fun thing to talk about sometime.
Well, we ain't done yet.
When you feel when you feel like going way too long on your live stream, invite me on again and we'll do that.
No, we still have our movie, buddy.
We still have our movie recommendations to go, and then
shoot, yeah, okay, man. I'm really gonna take you longer now.
Quick thing off of that subject, Kevin from Movie Collector Maniac has a video up. I just want to plug his video. His dad took pictures of the Richard Pryor movie Grease Lightning, and Kevin shows pictures that his dad had from like Pam Grier, Richard Pryor himself, Richie Havens.
Nice.
He has a lot of pictures of Richard Havens. So check out Movie Collector Maniac's page. He has just a whole video just on that by itself.
Very good.
So that was really cool seeing the stills, like blowing up like a car. He explained a car blew up, a stock car blew up with Richard Pryor in it.
So that's how it happened.
Yeah. So all right, my Tubi pick of the week. I know everybody's waiting for this, and they're not a sponsor yet. Is the 1972 movie The Mechanic with Charles Bronson?
Oh,
nice. One of my favorite Charles Bronson movies. I can watch that all the time. And yes, it was a kind of a. It has basically all the same people that Bronson always has in all of his movies. His wife. And I forget the other guy.
Jan Michael Vincent.
Michael Vincent was in a couple. So I watched that while I was on my back. And because I just got being sick with my back. So I put that on, and it's just like another that could have made my comfort list. I just like love
great movie.
That's mine.
Great ending.
All right. Yeah.
Yes, great ending.
Won't spoil it, but great ending.
Yeah.
All right, Corey, do you have a movie recommendation for us?
Yeah, I'm gonna do 2, but I'll be really quick. I promise. I won't go too long. So yeah, leave it to me to like go to way too long. But 2 very different movies. But one that just popped up. I didn't realize it was on Paramount Plus already for their. If you have that for the subscription service, I'm not normally a musical person, but Better Man. It's caught me off guard. I really enjoyed it. It's about Robbie Williams, huge pop star.
Oh, yeah.
He broke into the U.S., but man, in Europe, huge. What's that?
Take That.
Yeah, yes, yep. He started off Take That and the boy band, and then split off and was solo. It sounds so weird when you look at it. He's played in the movie as a CGI monkey.
Yep.
In it, it doesn't sound like anything would work with it, but man, I don't know why. If you watched it and you said, Corey, that's crap, I wouldn't hold it against you, but it came off well for me. There was moments I got choked up with some of the stuff he was dealing with. See that? Family, relationships, abuse problems, like substance abuse problems, like going through there. It hit on a lot of different things, and I thought the music was good too. So very big surprise for me. I enjoyed that one. But another one that I saw, I'll be really quick, was a mystery movie night. It was Last Breath with Woody Harrelson.
Woody.
Yep. Yeah. In that, based on a true story of deep sea divers working on like underground, like oil and pipelines, like in the ocean. I thought it was really good. They pulled off they built a lot of suspense through the movie, and the sound design. I think the big thing, I was really happy I got to see that in the theater. They pulled off some great stuff with the score and the sound design of that. Really enjoyed it. So
cool. I was wondering if that was any good. I've been wanting to go to the theater to see it, but I haven't been able to make it out to the theater recently. But that's definitely on my watch list. So good to hear it's good.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, Jim.
Okay. This one is from 1988. And this was on my list of comfort movies, but I took it off because I wanted to use it as a recommendation, because I'm sure all 3 of you guys have seen this movie, but I adore this movie. This was actually my favorite movie of that year. Directed by Martin Brest, and with an incredible cast: Robert De Niro, Charles Grodin, Yaphet Kotto, John Ashton, Dennis Farina, Joe Pantoliano. I'm talking about Midnight Run.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I think this is like the perfect buddy cop type, on the run type movie, road movie.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
The chemistry between De Niro and Charles Grodin is unparalleled, in my opinion. And the score from Danny Elfman is awesome. If you didn't know it was a Danny Elfman score, you wouldn't know it, because it is unlike any other score he's ever done, and it's his best one. And I cannot say enough about Midnight Run. It's just one of those movies that, per the motif of our show, even though I own it, if I'm flicking channels and it's on, it doesn't matter if it's in the first 5 minutes or the last 5 minutes. I stop what I'm doing and I have to watch it because it is that good. So my recommendation this week is Midnight Run.
Excellent.
Iconic on the run type of movie. Yeah.
It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
I've only seen it once, but I remember I loved it, and I have it on Blu-ray, and I haven't rewatched it yet, but I remember it being fantastic. I used to have the movie poster for that.
Yeah.
And don't have it anymore. Great pick.
Hey, Jack, you think we got a chance with any of those chickens back there? Yeah, those are some good looking chickens.
The 2 of them are great together. And
yes, absolutely.
Yep.
That was the first movie I ever saw De Niro where I thought he was funny in,
Yeah.
I mean, because that movie's not a comedy per se, but it is. I mean, it's like a comedy action type movie, but him and Charles Grodin are friggin' hysterical together in that movie.
Absolutely. Great flick. Great pick.
Thank you.
All right. Mine is a recent pick. It does not fall into the category of our show tonight, but I just watched it last Friday, and it's Macon County Line.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
I think, I watched it Friday night. Yeah. But I picked this up from Shout Select. They just had a sale recently, and I got it on a whim. I thought it was going to be sort of just like a run of the mill sort of exploitation south of the border kind of flick. And it turns out it's not. It's really good. It's got a couple of twists to it. It's kind of got a curio value to it. It was written by Max Baer, who played Jethro on Beverly Hillbillies, and he produced it. And he co-wrote the screenplay. He's in it. And it's totally, he did it to break the stereotype because he couldn't get any work because he was being, stereotyped as Jethro from the Beverly Hillbillies, no matter what he tried to do. This will totally break that stereotype in your head. This is a really sort of, I don't want to say gritty, but it's definitely not what I was expecting, and I really, really enjoyed it. It's about two brothers who are going down through the South before they enlist in the Army, and they sort of are caught in a situation. I don't really want to say too much because I didn't really know that much about it going in, but they sort of meet this sheriff who's played by Max Baer, and it's just what sort of happens. And a young Leif Garrett is in it. He's very young. I think he's like 10 years old when he's in it. But Macon County Line. I'll throw the trailer up as I do with all of our movie recommendations on the Talking Movies YouTube channel on our playlists. So you can check out the trailer for that and for Jim's pick and Kenny's pick. Sorry, Corey, I don't have a guest pick list yet, but
that's all right. I cheated and did two anyway, so you might as well cut me out of there.
I may do that though. I may do a guest playlist. I haven't thought about doing that yet, but I may do that. Oh, nice, Kevin. Yeah. So we did run super long tonight, and I do apologize for anybody who had a time limit tonight. Corey, it is not your fault.
Not you at all.
No, it's not your fault, dude.
We were having a great conversation. And that's the reason why it ran late.
Corey's taking the blame, and we're all.
It's a common theme with me sometimes.
Not at all. Not at all.
No, I texted my wife in the other room and I said, "Oh, I think we're going to run long tonight." And she's went, "Shocker."
Yeah, my wife stopped asking me how long the streams are going to be. She's just like, "Man, whatever. I'll see you when you get out."
Yeah, my uncle said, "How long you guys run for?" I'm like, "Usually about 2 hours." And he goes, 3-4 hours? I'm like, "No, not that long." And he goes, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, I put a 2-hour and 50-minute movie Heat on for my mom, and I just heard the music. It's over.
All right.
Oh, okay. There you go.
All right. So we got a good time.
Got to wrap her up.
Yep. So thanks again, Corey, for coming on and being with us.
Thank
we had a great time.
Corey.
Truly, I really appreciate it. I know I'm joking around about going too long, but I had a blast. It's what's fun when you hang out with some fun people like y'all and you get talking about all this stuff. It's easy for time to fly by. And had a great time. I really appreciate you having me on. I always still get tickled when somebody actually wants to, like, I'm not being like just putting myself down, but it's cool when they're like, "Hey, come on," somebody invites you to come on and talk, and you get to talk about things that you really enjoy that you don't always get to do maybe regular everyday life. So I really appreciate it and had a great time.
We'll have you back for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll definitely have you back. So
when
you want to run for again. Next time, we'll do 3 hours or 4 hours.
We'll do that.
They're like, no.
We'll do that Uncle Buck or bachelor party watch along with Kenny.
There you go.
Man, I'd love to do that.
There you go.
It would have to be like on Tubi or something that we could sync up and watch it like that.
Yeah. We'll take a break when the commercials come on.
Yeah, exactly. Or talk about
all right. What?
Or just talk about what we just seen.
Yes. We'll recap it every scene during the commercials. All right. Thanks, Kevin. Everybody have a great night.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Chat.
We'll just hit the mute button on Corey.
That happens. Yeah. It happens.
We're all guilty of it, but that's what makes it fun. So
you get excited and have fun.
Yeah. All right. Thanks everybody for tuning in. If you're listening on the replay, thanks for tuning in and going along with us. This is our longest episode ever, and we're not apologizing for it.
Nope. Not at all.
So
Guilty
everybody have a
pleasures
good
was
night.
last week.
Yeah. And we'll see you on the next one in 2 weeks.
Good night, everybody.
Until then, have a good night.
Night, guys.
Bye.